Darlene will not keep it in. This will be an empty net goal for Ottawa. They will go up 3-1, and they do with 2:18 remaining in the third period.
The Sabres did not, in fact, break the playoff drought last night as they fell to the Ottawa Senators by a score of 4-1. They can still break it on their own terms with a win this Saturday against Washington. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is, quote, weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes the Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins is likely to be starting games for them in 2026. The Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down from the number 6 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Under 1 month out from that. In baseball, Blue Jays, they take on the White Sox today at 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. The Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. The Mets take on the Giants at 10:15 tonight. The Final Four is set in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. Illinois takes on UConn tomorrow at 6:09 p.m. And the big game, the 1 seeds duke it out. Michigan and Arizona tomorrow night at 8:49. Heads up, football fans, as Pittsburgh prepares to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season. The celebration will begin the night before with an unforgettable invite-only night of music taking place Wednesday, April 22nd at the Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
All right, which whiteboard should we designate in here for got? We'd be at 2 days right now. Did one of I got fooled by a golf thing on April Fool's Day. Jeremy got fooled by something along the way as well.
I think the Operation 10 Straight whiteboard could go, right?
That's the one.
I feel like that's it.
Feels like that.
It's just kind of felt like a good luck charm all year.
It has.
It has a little bit.
There's a Sabres hair bracket on it as well, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's fine. We could leave that at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That doesn't have to go anywhere.
No. I don't know what that's from.
We could even just add the got counter to that. We don't have to necessarily remove the 10-day straight.
Yep. Well, good morning. It's Jeremy and Joe. Jeremy is off today. It is a Friday that is not the celebration of the end of the playoff drought. Was hoping that we would get that. We'll just delay it to probably Monday, because now we got to relearn scenarios of, well, if they don't beat the Capitals tomorrow, there would be other ways that they can get in. And we'll go through some of those this morning. The Sabres fall against the Senators last night. Today is going to be warm, like 70. Think we might touch 70.
It's got to thaw out all the way and get, it's a process here in Buffalo. It takes some time.
You're sinking about 1.5 feet with every step right now.
It rained on what was the day it rained a ton? Was that Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was torrential.
Yeah, for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
For like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Still a tiebreaker is back on top in the Atlantic. The tiebreaker just being that they've played one fewer game at this point. I guess actually they would be up anyway. They're tied in regulation wins. We're going to have to start paying attention to that. Regulation and overtime wins, that's the second tiebreaker. And why that could matter to Buffalo and Tampa is they're tied right now in both points and in regulation wins. So if that were to be how the season ended, it would go to regulation and overtime wins. And right now, Tampa's up by 2 in that. But I don't feel like anyone was ever that upset with the idea that the Lightning would catch the Sabres in winning the division. I've wanted the Sabres to win the division badly. I've wanted them to get Lindy Ruff the Jack Adams Award. I think it is way more likely if they were to win the division for him to win that. But now Montreal is creating a scarier situation in that the Sabres would not open at home. And at the moment, they are 2 points back with 2 games in hand. They win again last night and are now at a 7-game win streak. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza, give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game, hanging out, and that could still happen in a game 3. Is it, where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage? I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah, that's correct. I think it helps certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a. I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be if not just because you do play games at home still. Like you get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home, and I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans. And for me, I would rather see them obviously start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even. Probably not even 10.
Right? Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. I mean, they have lost 4 of their last 6. And how many games do I have to go through for 4 losses before that? I mean, here's the way to look at it. They have 4 losses since March 22nd, which was a couple weeks ago.
Right.
They had between January 20th and March 22nd, they had 4 losses. So in it's tough though, right? They were on a historic pace.
Yeah, that's
we saw the stats, best 40-game stretch since 1995-96. So when that's what you're comparing it to, sure, it looks like you're playing a lot worse. I guess last night, and I do want to get more into the standings and the matchups and kind of how that all looks at the moment, but on last night's game, that game to me is why you've heard so much about, I don't really want to play Ottawa in the first round. Because if they can get that performance in goal, and I think Ullmark, he wasn't tested a ton, but he made a couple of big saves. He only allowed the 1. He almost got off to another really bad start. Puck almost going in his net. He had that the game before. If Ottawa can get that goalie performance, they're incredibly tough to beat. You just can't take... They had the puck all night, I felt like. I mean, the Sabres maybe it was a little closer to even, but it certainly wasn't a dominant effort by the Sabres at all. I mean, I heard Samuelson in the postgame talking about how they were just way too cute. Ottawa was more direct than they were, and they are just a heavy team that I think is kind of built for a playoff series. And they're a great possession team all year long. It's just been mostly the goaltending has not been there for them. And I don't know that Ullmark will give you that game, given what he's been this year, more than 3 times, twice in a playoff series. I mean, the save he makes on Byram at the end of the period, he comes so far out of the net on that play. Or at least he ends up so far out of the net.
Yeah, that was a really good read by him to recognize that all Byram had to do there was shoot the puck. And when you know that as a goaltender, your first thought is, all right, I'm going to get as much ice as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Ullmark, I don't know if he made that save halfway to the hash mark. Yeah. Like, he was all the way out there. It was really a smart, good read. I thought he was really good last night. Quiet. There was a one-timer stop on Dahlin, I think it was, that was really good.
Doan had a great chance in front.
Yeah, Doan, even a great save on Doan. I thought he was, what Ullmark can be and why he can be scary to me in the playoffs is he can put performances like that together and string them together and get hot. I think we saw that in Buffalo, and we've certainly seen that in Boston and now in Ottawa. He's been better for the most part since his break this year. And I think you're right. Like, that game last night is what makes Ottawa scary. You got Brady Tkachuk going to fight your biggest guy, and
what was that? Was that just the history between the two, or is that any bit of?
It's probably
the story in Ottawa yesterday was that Keith Tkachuk went on Brady and Matthew Tkachuk's podcast and basically called the Senators soft.
Yes, pretty much.
So was Brady Tkachuk, by doing that at all, being like, come on, guys, with me?
I think there's a little.
I'm gonna
bit
go
of that.
fight their monster.
Yeah, exactly. I think there was a little bit of I gotta sort of answer the bell here to the swirling, I'm soft, the team's soft thing. Mm-hmm. He called out the Leafs a few weeks ago with the Matthews stuff. That's been a thing. So I think it was a lot of that. And he even after the game said that he thought his dad was talking about the Panthers, not even the Senators. So
okay,
right. Whatever. I think that was just Brady Tkachuk going, I'm gonna try and do something here because that's just how he plays.
Yeah. They had history, too, by the way.
Right.
Stanley had punched him when he wasn't
clocked him,
really fighting yet.
I loved
when they
that
was
happened.
in Winnipeg.
I loved when he did that to him because Brady had been – I think that was in a time where Brady had been running around a little bit.
Yeah.
And Stanley just
enough.
Take a seat.
Enough.
I'll tag you and you'll sit down here. Let's calm down.
So those two did have a little bit of history.
For sure.
As well. I love Luukkonen played well.
I liked his game for the most part. I thought the one goal that goes through his arm on the Cousins goal, he could have made the save. He was there. It just beats him through. Mm-hmm. Whenever I see a puck get through an arm, to me that is a bad goal. I think most goalies would agree with me. You don't want to get beat through your body. It means you were there. You made the read. He was there. He just needed to seal up. But, I mean, that's not I don't think that he was what went wrong last night. I thought they just got beat. I thought they got beat up and down the ice, battles. Mm-hmm. They got outworked. And, Lindy echoed that post-game. It was a lot of just they wanted it more. Mm-hmm. It was not they just didn't have it. They didn't have it last night. And it's disappointing in that spot, I think.
Definitely. Wasn't most of it the third period? I didn't really feel like going into the second intermission, man, they're getting worked. I thought it was a pretty back and forth. Maybe you would have wanted said Ottawa was slightly the better team in the first two periods.
Yeah.
The game was tied.
Very low event first period, and then the second was a little more back and forth. And I thought there was a swing in the second where I was like, all right, they're humming here now.
Yeah,
and they kind of got dipped into, and that was the end of it.
Shot attempts by period, between both teams, 16 in the first period, 37 in the second period, and then 33 in the third period.
Right. Okay. Yes. So definitely low event first. That's the eye test works.
Right.
That makes sense. And I mean, that it felt like that kind of game. They wanted to sort of see where each other were at. What's this going to be like? Is this going to be a fight night sort of a deal? What's happening here? And I think there was a little bit of that feeling out process. And then the second was, like I said, I thought they played well. And then the third period was the difference. It was just they were better in the third and won more battles and made more plays. That was the end of it. I thought Ullmark made a couple of big stops and just Sabres couldn't quite get over the hump.
That's what Lindy was really hot about, specifically the third period.
Yeah,
that they wanted it more. I mean, the Sabres trailed for 14 minutes of the third period, so. Playing from behind, you'd think, okay, Ottawa will go into a little bit of a shell here, and you'll start to control the game and try to work through that. And no, it was still like Ottawa.
Yep,
still Ottawa.
Yeah.
So
they're deep, man. They're deep. They've got a lot of guys that can play, and they're still hurt. Like that Sanderson and Shabbat are both great players that they're, waiting to get back to full strength here.
I still find myself hating the Senators, by the way. Like we talked yesterday about like their best path and like Tampa over Ottawa for your dream, like who you'd want to beat along the way. But whenever Ottawa beats them, or even just you get into like some of these scrums and something about the Senators still irks me. Maybe that's just 06 and 07 still. Like it could be Brady Tkachuk. I don't know how many other players, like who else if they were to play Ottawa in a playoff series will we learn to hate? Because I've been thinking about that for all the different teams. Like Slavkovsky we talked about for Montreal. Ottawa, it will be Brady Tkachuk.
Tkachuk's easy, yeah.
Is there another guy really that...
I think you'll get annoyed by how good Stützle is. I think he's a kind of sneaky, like a little ratty too sometimes.
A little bit.
And he's really good. I think he would be a guy that you'd learn to be really annoyed by. I don't know if they have a D like that. I mean, Sanderson's good. Sanderson would just get, I think maybe like Dahlin, like he's so good, he's just annoying because he's so good.
Right.
And that would be frustrating for sure. I mean, Cousins, like you would hate Cousins, right?
Maybe.
Him in a playoff series is probably going to try and do something and be annoying.
I know who we're going to get to this on. Giroux. I've liked Giroux. I've always liked Giroux, but something yesterday that I noticed, he is always staring at the Sabres bench.
He's
every
like that.
time they showed him, he's staring at the Sabres bench.
He's a big
he's a chirper.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit of like, I'm better than you. I know more than you.
Right.
Don't come at me. I'm super vet guy.
Typically, I've loved it. Like there are
like him
old clips of him like chirping Dion Phaneuf, calling him like a pigeon.
Yes.
And just like chasing him around the ice and not leaving. Like I love that. But I think if you're playing that guy in a playoff series,
it's annoying.
I think it could become annoying
for sure. And he's still a silky, smooth sort of player too that could hurt you.
Yeah.
I've always really liked his game and a little bit of that edge that he has, and I think you're right. That's a guy that you would be a little annoyed with. Maybe Nick Cousins also would be Ridley Gregg, slap shot into the empty net guy.
Against Toronto.
If anyone remembers that from a few years ago.
Yeah.
If he's going to pull a stunt like that at any point, try and do something like that, that could get annoying.
Yeah.
I think it goes with the flow of what happens. Anybody could become that villain, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Big picture, are we worried though? Like
no.
They over a 6-game stretch here, I don't feel like they've dominated a team in an entire game one time.
They've been slumping a little bit. I agree with that, but I think that was always going to come, and I think I'm glad that it's coming now. I think I think it's perfect if they're able to kind of pull up out of it with like 5 games to go and come in, winning 3 of 5, 4 of 5, and feel pretty good. I think that's a good thing to have gone through to like, all right, we know what it looks like when we're not quite humming, and we know what got us out of it. Let's fall back on that. If we get into a series and we're like, we don't quite have it, all right, what did we do when we were slumping a little bit in late March and early April? Like,
sure.
How did we get out of it? I think that's valuable for the players. It's definitely valuable for Ruff to sort of identify, all right, we've been good for this long.
Yeah.
We haven't really struggled. What does it look like when we struggle, and how do I fix it?
How do I dig out of it?
I think that's a really, really that's a vital thing for Lindy to learn. And I think I would bet that he's glad they're losing a few games right now. Not for the standings, but for his own understanding of his team. As a coach, I think if you're going into the playoffs and all you've done is win, obviously you feel good, but once you lose, you're probably getting a little nervous. Like, I don't know what this looks like for us. I don't know how this looks, what this looks like when it gets better. So I think that's probably not a horrible thing. I would like to see them pull out of it. That's what I want to see. I have faith that they will, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Tomorrow's a good opportunity. Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah, you're playing a team that's not really in it that much.
No, not really.
You've got a Rangers game. You've got really down the stretch. We'll get the calls here in a moment here. They have 6 games remaining in the regular season. 2 of them are playing for something.
Yeah.
Like really playing for something. Because, the Capitals are Well, I guess 3 points out. I guess they're still motivated. They're close enough.
They're in it enough that they're trying to win.
They've just got so many teams to climb over. So,
Right.
so I guess I'll count them. But the Rangers are playing for nothing. Chicago is playing for nothing. And Dallas is kind of locked in to the 2 spot. By the last game of the year, they're going to be playing for nothing.
Yeah,
So
100%.
you'll have some unmotivated teams. Let's go to the phones, 803-0550 on last night. Some more drought memories are available to you today because we do still expect that to end relatively soon. I think probably this weekend. Paul in Buffalo's first up. What's up, Paul?
You know, I love this team, and so I don't want to get angry with them. But this was such a distasteful hockey game for me. First of all, the 2 best players in the game are Dylan Cousins and Linus Ullmark, and that's always going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. Secondly, you get outworked by a division rival from, I would say, the point where McLeod took a cross check on Stützle, which I thought was a dive, and the refs were terrible in this game. They went from calling every ticky-tack penalty to just throwing their whistles away. From that point on, that was about 9 minutes in the second period, I thought Ottawa owned the game. They won almost every puck battle there was, and we just continually left UPL out to dry. I thought Metza World Peace looked like Ron Artest last night. He coughed up a puck at the blue line, gave up a 2-on-1 to start the game, and UPL bailed him out, not to be outdone by his defense partner, who coughs up a breakaway with 11 minutes left in the game, and UPL bails him out. And they weren't outdone but by the 2 best players on the team. Rasmus Dahlin, who I thought was awful in this game, one of the worst games I've seen him play in a while. He got totally abused by Dylan Cousins on Cousins' goal. First, he has a soft clearing attempt because Cousins is rushing him, and there's nothing he did about it. And then he doesn't cover Cousins going to the net because Cousins just wanted it more. And that's unacceptable for me to see who I feel is the best defenseman in the world get outworked by Dylan Cousins. And Tage Thompson, though he did win a draw that led to our 1 goal, I thought he was invisible the whole night. And the reason that irks me is because our division rival, the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nikita Kucherov, goal and 2 assists. Our division rival, Montreal Canadiens, Cole Caulfield, 2 goals. Our division rival, Detroit Red Wings, struggling to get in the playoffs, Alex DeBrincat, 2 goals. And Rasmus Dahlin and Tage Thompson, nowhere to be found on the score sheet last night. That is absolutely unacceptable. I thought the whole team left the goalie out to dry, and they were led in that poor effort by their 2 best players. That is unacceptable, guys, for what I feel is one of the great teams this franchise has produced in a regular season. And I know Lindy was upset with it. I hope they have a hard practice today because they need to drag the Washington Capitals tomorrow. That was just a terrible game. Guys, have a great show.
Thanks, Paul, for the call. I was really annoyed with that Dahlin shift also. Really not even shift. It was just the 2 plays. It was, where are you going with that puck? I mean, there's a guy at center. You're trying to hit him on a home run, but Ottawa's not in that poor of position that I think you need to be going for a home run there. And you've got Doan standing by himself up the wall. Like, just make the simple pass up the wall, which I think 99 times out of 100, Dahlin is probably making the right decision there. Or actually, maybe sometimes he is trying the harder pass and he's getting it through.
Right, that's a factor, is that you kind of live with those to get the good stuff. But I that last night was a real blunder. It's not really an acceptable, I was trying to make a play. That's not going to fly.
Well, right, and like Paul said, like once you have turned it over, you got to be a bat out of hell to make sure that he's not beating you to the net, and he did.
And he did. And that's, that's tough. That's a tough moment. I definitely think that was maybe the sort of defining, you can't have that play from your captain and still hope to win this game, I think. That was tough. So, I hear everything Paul's saying there. It was a really disappointing effort. It really was. And I think that's valid to point out. I still have faith, and I think that they are going to pull out of it, and it may end up helping them in the end that they went through a stretch where they didn't feel great about their game.
803-0550 is the phone number. How are we feeling? Feel like they're going to right the ship? They can still end the drought this weekend officially, and that's you can get some out-of-town help even for that to happen. We'll go through some of those scenarios. And now here comes Montreal, 2 points back for maybe stealing home ice away from the Sabres before the end of the regular season for round number 1. We got mock drafts to get to today. here on a Friday as well. Brian Koziel joins the show at 7:30. You got some time for your phone calls between now and then. 803-0550, it's Jeremy and Joe. Owen and Joe hanging out as well. This is WGR. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road, beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza, give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game, hanging out, and that could still happen in a game 3. Is it? Where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage? I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah, that's correct, I think. It helps, certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a... I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be, if not just because you do play games at home still. Like you get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home. And, I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as, when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans and for me. I would rather see them, obviously, start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even. Probably not even 10.
Right? Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. On last night's game, that game to me is why you've heard so much about, I don't really want to play Ottawa in the first round. Because if they can get that performance in goal, and I think Ullmark, he wasn't tested a ton, but he made a couple of big saves. He only allowed the one. He almost got off to another really bad start. Puck almost going in his net. He had that the game before. If Ottawa can get that goalie performance, they're incredibly tough to beat. You just can't take... They had the puck all night, I felt like. I mean, the Sabres maybe it was a little closer to even, but it certainly wasn't a dominant effort by the Sabres at all. I mean, I heard Samuelson in the postgame talking about how they were just way too cute. Ottawa was more direct than they were, and they are just a heavy team that I think is kind of built for a playoff series. And they're a great possession team all year long. It's just been mostly the goaltending has not been there for them. And I don't know that Ullmark will give you that game, given what he's been this year, more than 3 times, twice in a playoff series. I mean, the save he makes on Byram at the end of the period, he comes so far out of the net on that play. Or at least he ends up so far out of the net.
Yeah, that was a really good read by him to recognize that all Byram had to do there was shoot the puck. And when you know that as a goaltender, your first thought is, all right, I'm going to get as much ice as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Ullmark, I don't know if he made that save halfway to the hash mark.
Yeah.
But he was all the way out there. It was really a smart, good read. I thought he was really good last night. Quiet. There was a one-timer stop on Dahlin, I think it was, that was really good.
Doan had a great chance in front.
Yeah, Doan, even a great save on Doan. I thought he was, what Ullmark can be and why he can be scary to me in the playoffs is he can put performances like that together and string them together and get hot. I think we saw that in Buffalo, and we've certainly seen that in Boston and now in Ottawa. He's been better for the most part since his break this year. And I think you're right. Like that game last night is what makes Ottawa scary.
Darlene will not keep it in. This will be an empty net goal for Ottawa. They will go up 3-1, and they do with 2:18 remaining in the third period.
The Sabres did not break the playoff drought last night as they fell to the Ottawa Senators by a score of 4-1. They can still break it on their own terms with a win this Saturday against Washington. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock on the road. Around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is, quote, weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes the Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins, who they signed yesterday, likely will be starting games for them in 2026. Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down from the number 6 overall pick in the draft. And in baseball, the Blue Jays take on the White Sox today at 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. And the Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. And tonight, the Mets take on the Giants at 10:15. The Final Four is set in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. The early game tomorrow at 6:09, Illinois takes on UConn. And then the late game, 8:49, Michigan takes on Arizona. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Kelly on Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
Thompson gets some help and wins the draw. Puck comes back to the point. Byron to the far circle. Scores! That shot gets through, and the Sabres get the first goal of the game as Mattias Samuelsson just put it to the net. And with 11:11 remaining in the second period, Buffalo gets the first goal of this game.
It's one of your Firth moments of the game, brought to you by Firth. For all the moments in your life, go forth to Firth. We were out last night watching this game. A lot of people. Place went nuts when that goal was scored. Bulldog had said, or called that goal. What did he say? That he had not, Samuelsson hasn't scored in a while.
Right, he was sitting there, he was like, Sammy hasn't done anything in a while. He hasn't scored in a little while. And it was 2 minutes later. Bang, goes in the net. Just classic
and then
Bulldog stuff.
Did he do that immediately with somebody else?
No, I don't think he wanted to push his limits of his psychic powers.
We kind of used it.
I know.
Needed it.
Kind of needed it.
We did. Absolutely needed it.
Now a finger might be pointed in that direction. We gotta, be careful.
Right.
He had not scored since the Penguins game on March 5th. So it had been a minute. That might have even been an empty netter, if I remember correctly.
That might be, long range bomb one. Yeah, I think that's right.
He scored 2 in the Tampa loss that Colton Ellis played before the Olympic break.
Right. There's the bad angle one, right? And then the...
that goal was in a win earlier in the year.
Yeah, earlier.
That goal. That was the Rangers.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite goals of the season.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we were at the sim for that one. I remember watching that. That was unbelievable. The superstar shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also ruined it for other people because our TV was ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Funny. That's right.
That is key, by the way. We're out last night. Fully appreciate any place and make sure they've got this buttoned up. You got to have all the TVs in line. In sync.
Yeah. Last night was great, though. I mean, that's even though they didn't do it last night, I think it was a cool experience to go. All of us were there. Jeremy went. My old man was there. Half the station was in the building with us, And it was just packed full of people that were excited about being back with the Sabres again. And I think that was a really powerful, cool thing to do. Like, it was really fun to see that.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of my buddies there that don't know any of you guys. Like, it's really fun how much it brings everybody together. And I think that's going to be really, really cool once it ramps up into the playoffs.
You know what else is back, by the way? Clapping after good shifts.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like full applause, just like, they had the puck in the zone for a minute and a half and drew a penalty. Like, just
very
full
good,
applause across the whole place.
Yeah, it was that stuff is what makes me appreciate the Buffalo hockey fans.
Yeah.
Because people talk about the Montreal fans is like they know when to cheer. They know when it's right, like a big shot block, a big clear, something like that.
Yep.
And I think Buffalo has that too, where it's like, we know it's a little bit of inside the game. Like, we know when you're doing something that maybe not everybody knows is good.
We appreciate the little things.
Right. We see you. We see. There's a moment, I forget what game it was, but there was a moment early in the year, or not early, but I think it was right after the Olympic break, or maybe right before. But Benson made a great play in the neutral zone to clear a puck. Mm-hmm. And the building went nuts. Like, nuts.
Yeah, right.
And it was like a goal was scored. It was just an effort play from Benson, like, classic. Dog on the bone, clear it, and the place went wild. And you could see it perked up the Sabres, and then they scored like a minute later.
Yeah.
I think that's the good stuff. When you can see that they know that you can tell what's good, that's a good feeling to have as a fan, I think. And it's I bet it's good for the players, too, because they're like, these guys get it. Everybody in this building gets it.
I think if those two teams play, you're going to get that the whole series then. Montreal and Buffalo, the atmospheres. I mean, they right now, I was looking at this morning, hockeystats.com, they're updating every day, like their round one matchup odds for each team. And right now, they have the Sabres and the Canadiens as 59.1% to match up in round one. Boston in second at 18. And now, by the way, from like being a less than percent chance a couple of weeks ago to now the third most likely first-round opponent at 10.8% is Tampa.
Yeah.
Because
Montreal
could win the division.
Mm-hmm.
They are 2 points back.
Red hot, yeah.
They are, like, we talked in the first segment how, like, Ottawa is respectable, and I would be totally respectful of the challenge they are in a series, that they could beat the Sabres, and that's not a pushover, and they're good. Montreal is right now, like, Caulfield scored his 49th goal of the year last night.
Yeah.
Suzuki's going to get to 100 points. Everyone is young and fast. Just that team is good.
That team is gonna,
so good.
Like, win the East like 5 times, I think. That team is going to be unbelievable in 5 years. Like Lane Hudson and that is a real dynamo group waiting to happen there.
The age of their top 5 scorers, 26, 25, 21, 21, 20.
Yeah, that's, I mean, could you ask for anything more as a GM than being set up like that? And you've got, like, Hudson's already locked in on a deal. My word, they are ready to shoot off into the stratosphere. And that is, like, if there's one, I don't want to see Tampa in the first round, obviously. I might rather see them than Montreal.
Really?
I might.
Wow.
I think Montreal is so fast and so good that they would be scary. But I don't know that I'm ready to commit to that. I think the chink in the armor for Montreal is like, who's their goalie? What's their goalie going to do? Mm-hmm. Fowler is great, but he's a rookie. And Dobesh is great too, but he might technically still be a rookie.
I think he might also be.
He played games last year, but I don't know if he played a lot. And they're both good and talented, but they both have also had some dips in play. I think Montembeau's completely out of the picture for them.
Yep.
But one of those two guys is going to have to be their guy, and I don't know that I trust that. And somebody come at me with, well, you trust UPL? I get it.
Well, I think UPL and Lion, for that matter, too, both statistically have been better than those two. Have been good. They've been fine.
They've been fine, but they early in the year they were not fine. They were bad.
Yeah,
and it was a problem. And I believe they fired their goaltending coach in the middle of the year and transitioned to a new guy. And since then things have been a little better, but it's still a definite question mark.
It will be the most fun series the league has seen if those two teams play.
Yeah.
It'll just be up like all the you can't play river hockey and win in the playoffs stuff. Like someone will come out of that series
playing a lot of river hockey
and winning 3-4 games that they scored 6 goals in.
Yeah.
I mean, really the games these two teams played, I guess were not fully like that, but you had they played the 4 games against Montreal this year were 4-2, 5-3, 4-2, 4-2. And you had some empty netters mixed in there along the way. They split. So I don't think the Sabres will, get dominated in that series.
No, I don't think that either. I'm ready to think the Sabres can beat anybody. That's where I'm at on them. So I'm not saying I'm scared of anybody. I am just thinking about what that might look like, and that looks in my head scary. What it looks like, maybe not even scary, is risky. Is anything could happen and it could bounce either way because it's so high octane. And I don't know. I feel like a Tampa series would be a little more, just more like what you're used to seeing in the playoffs, I would think.
Yeah.
And the Montreal series would be a wild shootout.
See, I don't know. I know it might be risky, but I think I'd prefer to watch that in the playoffs. I think that'd be electric.
It'd be fun. I definitely think it would be fun.
And especially the environments. Like, I feel like Tampa would be electric too, don't get me wrong, from the matchups they've had. But Montreal, Buffalo, it could feed families, as I've said.
It looks good too visually. I think it looks very good.
Well,
the
right
blue,
now,
yellow, red, and white is a good matchup.
Well, right now they are by far the most likely team the Sabres would play. That really does assume, though, that Tampa will win the division, and that doesn't have to happen. I mean, right now it's a tie. They play head to head. Sabres win that game on Monday, and they're still looking good to win the division. 803-0550 is the phone number. We also got an update on Sam Carrick, by the way, yesterday. Yeah. And is that the best we could have hoped for him? That
maybe not best, but middle of the road.
Yeah,
I think.
It sounded to me like he's going to be back for the playoffs.
That's what it sounded like to me too. Might be back for under regular season means he's going to be back when it's time to go. To me, if not, he could miss the first 2-3 games. But I am ready to. I think we're going to see him again for this year. I don't think we've seen the last of Carrick in this season, which is good. I said last night that I like Dunn a lot, actually, and I'm fine with it, but I think Carrick has been so good in that role that it would be stupid to not want him back.
Yep. 803-0550 is the phone number. Brian coming up at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, there's a mock draft that I saw that I wanted to get into a little bit for the Bills. So we'll get a little football in. When we come back, though, a streak that ended last night for the Sabres when we return here on WGR. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road, beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza, give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game, hanging out. And that could still happen in a game 3. Is it, where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage? I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah, that's correct, I think. It helps, certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a. I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be, if not just because you do play games at home still. You get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home, and I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans and for me. I would rather see them, obviously, start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even. Probably not even 10.
Right? Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. On last night's game, that game to me is why you've heard so much about, I don't really want to play Ottawa in the first round. Because if they can get that performance in goal, and I think Ullmark, he wasn't tested a ton, but he made a couple of big saves. He only allowed the one. He almost got off to another really bad start. Puck almost going in his net. He had that the game before. If Ottawa can get that goalie performance, they're incredibly tough to beat. You just can't take... They had the puck all night, I felt like. I mean, the Sabres had... Maybe it was a little closer to even. But it certainly wasn't a dominant effort by the Sabres at all. I mean, I heard Samuelson in the postgame talking about how they were just way too cute. Ottawa's more direct than they were. And they are just a heavy team that I think is kind of built for a playoff series. And they're a great possession team all year long. It's just been mostly the goaltending has not been there for them. And I don't know that Ullmark will give you that game, given what he's been this year, more than 3 times, twice in a playoff series. I mean, the save he makes on Byram at the end of the period, he comes so far out of the net on that play. Or at least he ends up so far out of the net.
Yeah, that was a really good read by him to recognize that all Byram had to do there was shoot the puck. And when you know that as a goaltender, your first thought is, all right, I'm going to get as much ice as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Ullmark, I don't know if he made that save halfway to the hash mark.
Yeah.
Like, he was all the way out there. It was really a smart, good read. I thought he was really good last night. Quiet. There was a one-timer stop on Dahlin, I think it was, that was really good.
Doan had a great chance in front.
Yeah, Doan, even a great save on Doan. I thought he was, what Ullmark can be and why he can be scary to me in the playoffs is he can put performances like that together and string them together and get hot. I think we saw that in Buffalo, and we've certainly seen that in Boston and now in Ottawa. He's been better for the most part since his break this year.
Done for Buffalo at the circle. Gets some help, but Ottawa wins possession back to the point. First shot, scores! Zub with the shot from the line.
I think Eller might have got a piece of that.
That took a redirection for sure. You're right. 2-1 Ottawa.
So that goal was not only a important goal for the game because it ended up being the game winner. It also was the end of a streak. It was the first goal that Zach Metza had been on the ice for against at 5-on-5. Really, I think he doesn't play penalty kill, so that's probably just all situations, but I have it by 5-on-5. The first goal he was on the ice for against since October 24th, which was his 3rd game of the year. Last night was his 39th, so a 36-game stretch for the Messiah, as some are calling him. And Paul earlier called in Metza was not great on that shift. I might tend to agree that pairing wasn't that good. Stanley got turned around on what should have been a breakaway goal with about 10 minutes to go, but I'm not panicking at all. I still think that's their best third pair.
Zach and the Beanstalk.
Zach and the Beanstalk has such great T-shirt potential. It's got to keep it up, though. So Metza on the ice for a goal against, again, first time in a long time for him. It's Sabres and it is Capitals tomorrow night. And if you are looking for out-of-town scoreboard, nothing went well last night. As we've talked about the standings, Montreal won, Tampa won, Carolina won. Like, everybody around the Sabres won. And here's the NHL with only 2 games on the schedule tonight, and that's it. So, not really a ton to look forward to if you're looking for who to root for. It's just the Philly game against the Islanders tonight, and then Blues and Ducks. And I guess Philly and the Islanders, and you really don't have a from the Sabres perspective, I don't think I care about who you'd rather. Does it depend? Who you'd rather play in a first-round series? I don't know. I don't have a huge preference between the Islanders and the Flyers. Maybe it's the Flyers. But right now, I feel like there's bigger fish to fry than playing Philly in the first round. They're 0.2% to be the Sabres' first-round opponent. But then tomorrow is big. Tomorrow, leading up to Sabres and Capitals at 7, you've got games before that. The Red Wings play 12:30 against the Rangers. The Lightning play at 5 against the Bruins. So it's a good game to watch beforehand. By the way, Final Four is like late, so you can watch all this before the basketball. And Montreal does play at the same time. They play against New Jersey tomorrow. Again, they get a couple of these teams here at the end that are not quite motivated. The Devils aren't playing for much these days. And that's who Montreal gets tomorrow at 7, which is the same time as Sabres and Capitals. Last thing on the Sabres, we'll take a break, and I want to get to a mock draft for a moment here. Lion tomorrow, right? I mean, Luukkonen played well.
Yeah, but I think you just, for flow, I think you probably go back to Lion and then give Luukkonen Monday against Tampa. I think that's probably the most logical course of action. I could see them going, let's keep riding Luukkonen. If they do that, then I would think you give him Monday too. If you're going to do that, you're going to do that. But if you're not, I think tomorrow night is the night that you give Lion a look. You know, get back in there, get a game, and then go back Luukkonen, against who do they have? They had Tampa, and then
it's the Rangers.
And then the Rangers, you give him Rangers too. Like, give him another couple in a row, or even 3.
Luukkonen?
Yeah. If he plays,
that's the thing. If he plays against Washington tomorrow night and they do what you're saying, like he'll end up playing 7 in a row, 6, 7 in a row.
But yeah, which would be crazy. I think that's why Lion goes tomorrow, and then you go back Luukkonen and give him another run. But I think that
makes sense.
It depends on what they are trying to do. Are they trying to force feed Luukkonen into the role, or are they trying to get just to see what's going to work best? I think that I see them trying to get Luukkonen to a spot where they're going to give him every game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see anything with him at this point. He could play every game that's left but 2 at this point.
Like
be stunned.
They play a back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday, so he won't play both of those games, but otherwise. 803-0550 is the phone number. There's a mock draft I want to get to that shows off the one idea that I just don't like for the Bills. Actually, really, I want to get to this. I just don't think there's that many good ideas for the Bills in the first round. They've got holes, but I think it should be 1 of 2 positions, and I'm kind of against anything else. 803-0550 is the phone number. Brian Koziel coming up at 7:30 on the Sabres. A little golf, too, and Paul a little bit later on as well. Jeremy's off today. This is Jeremy and Joe here on WGR. On last night's game, that game to me is why you've heard so much about, I don't really want to play Ottawa in the first round. Because if they can get that performance in goal, and I think Ullmark, he wasn't tested a ton, but he made a couple of big saves. He only allowed the 1. He almost got off to another really bad start. Puck almost going in his net. He had that the game before. If Ottawa can get that goalie performance, they're incredibly tough to beat. You just can't take... They had the puck all night, I felt like. I mean, the Sabres maybe it was a little closer to even, but it certainly wasn't a dominant effort by the Sabres at all. I mean, I heard Samuelson in the postgame talking about how they were just way too cute. Ottawa was more direct than they were, and they are just a heavy team that I think is kind of built for a playoff series. And they're a great possession team all year long. It's just been mostly the goaltending has not been there for them. And I don't know that Ullmark will give you that game, given what he's been this year, more than twice in a playoff series. I mean, the save he makes on Byram at the end of the period, he comes so far out of the net on that play. Or at least he ends up so far out of the net.
Yeah, that was a really good read by him to recognize that all Byram had to do there was shoot the puck. And when you know that as a goaltender, your first thought is, all right, I'm going to get as much ice as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Ullmark, I don't know if he made that save halfway to the hash mark.
Yeah.
Like, he was all the way out there. It was really a smart, good read. I thought he was really good last night. Quiet. There was a one-timer stop on Dahlin, I think it was, that was really good.
Doan had a great chance in front.
Yeah, Doan, even a great save on Doan. I thought he was, what Ullmark can be and why he can be scary to me in the playoffs is he can put performances like that together and string them together and get hot. I think we saw that in Buffalo, and we've certainly seen that in Boston and now in Ottawa. He's been better for the most part since his break this year. And I think you're right. Like, that game last night is what makes Ottawa scary.
So that goal was not only a important goal for the game because it ended up being the game winner. It also was the end of a streak. It was the first goal that Zach Metza had been on the ice for against at 5-on-5. Really, I think he doesn't play penalty kill, so that's probably just all situations, but I have it by 5-on-5. The first goal he was on the ice for against since October 24th. Which was his third game of the year. Last night was his 39th. So a 36-game stretch for the Messiah, as some are calling him. And Paul earlier called in Metza was not great on that shift. I might tend to agree that pairing wasn't that good. Stanley got turned around on what should have been a breakaway goal with about 10 minutes to go. But I'm not panicking at all. I still think that's their best third pair.
Zach and the Beanstalk.
Zach and the Beanstalk has such great T-shirt potential. It's got to keep it up, though. So, Metza on the ice for a goal against, again, first time in a long time for him.
Dahlin will not keep it in. This will be an empty net goal for Ottawa. They will go up 3-1, and they do with 2:18 remaining in the third period.
The Sabres did not break the playoff drought last night as they fell to the Ottawa Senators by a score of 4-1. They still can break it on their own terms with a win this Saturday against the Washington Capitals. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes the Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins likely will be starting games for them in 2026. They signed for him yesterday. And the Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down from the number 6 pick in the 2026 draft. In baseball, the Blue Jays take on the White Sox today at 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. The Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. And the Mets tonight take on the Giants at 10:15. The Final Four is set in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. Tomorrow at 6:09, roughly, Illinois will take on UConn, and then the late game. 1 seed Michigan takes on 1 seed Arizona at 8:49. Heads up, football fans, as Pittsburgh prepares to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season, the celebration will begin the night before with an unforgettable invite-only night of music taking place Wednesday, April 22nd at the Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes a round-trip airfare, 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show. The Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
Jordan Tyson right now is my number 28 overall player, so I think he's right in that striking distance of the Bills. My range comparisons for him go from Jacoby Myers to Keenan Allen. Like, he's that type of fluid, inside, outside, savvy route runner, but not going to give you much after the catch at all. Going to catch pretty much everything. Will make the difficult grabs. Will make the diving catches at his feet. Will not have a lot of drops. And is just not someone that you're going to push the ball vertically down the field with.
Chris Trapasso on Jordan Tyson, who coincidentally I want to get to here because one of the mock drafts I saw does involve him and the Bills. We also had John Ledyard on yesterday. A lot of good stuff from him. Find that on demand. Really good conversation with John as the draft is a couple weeks away now. We're in draft month. And what the Bills do at 28. I've seen a lot of different positions that have been mocked to them, and we'll get to that. It's a pretty rainy day here, but pretty warm out as well. We're going to get close to 70. Good morning, it's Jeremy and Joe. Jeremy's off through next week, so a lot of time for your phone calls, and we'll get Brian Koziel in along the way as well. I just really quickly, though, just want to button this up. We talked about this during the break. I just walked out to my car to grab something during the break there, and there's a car with a carton of eggs on the roof. What could that be? Is it impossible somebody was driving around with eggs on the roof that they had bought at the grocery store and they survived?
That has to be what has happened here.
They survived driving around with them on the roof. They not sliding off.
It seems unlikely, but here's all right. We got the X-Files music going. Here's my theory. It's been wet out. Top of the car is a little wet.
Yes.
And
it's warmer.
Cardboard gets a little wet. It's a little sticky. Eggs are heavy enough.
Yeah,
I've driven around with a cup on my roof and it's been there. And it
stayed.
It stayed.
How tall a cup are we talking?
Like mug, not tall,
okay.
top heavy cups type of deal.
I was going to say, it depends on the aerodynamics of the item.
There's a lot of gravitational. Yeah, it's a whole.
Yeah.
But I bet you the bottom of the egg carton got a little wet, little sticky. It's been there all night.
And also, the eggs are so low, the air literally might just be going through and over because they have all the brakes underneath.
Put it in the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Because these eggs are certainly, I don't think, for anything here. Like, there would be nowhere to cook eggs.
No.
Like we've got microwaves out here in the bistro,
but on purpose. Yeah. No.
You're not just cracking an egg in a bowl and throwing it in the microwave.
I don't think so.
Some have done that.
I'm sure. I mean, some have also done the Rocky Balboa. They just crack it into a glass, but
yeah,
I don't think that's happening either.
Some people are insane.
If that's happening here, we need to figure that out because that's insane. But
I want to get to the bottom of this.
We will.
We've
got our top investigators working on it as we speak.
All right.
So
we're down a man, but we're still going to make it happen.
I do think the most likely is they've been driven around.
It's
got
to be what happened.
Yeah, they're low enough, long enough.
Is there some sort of Easter tradition?
Not in here.
It's too far out, I feel
Easter
like.
tradition of driving around with eggs on the
Yeah,
top of the car?
right. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Easter's Sunday.
Right.
The Friday before Easter. Are
Is
you
there some
bringing
kinda-
in painted eggs to work?
But do they like? And we're okay. Here we go. Here's another.
I guess that's possible.
Here's another
That's
theory.
possible.
They were in the car. Get out of the car. You got to get your bag. You put the eggs on top of the car after
Right.
you've already parked. You're here already. You put the eggs on top. Get your bag. Get inside. Forget about the eggs.
Chris calls in and thinks there could be a secret Easter egg hunt we might just not be clued in on.
Or you think Alan's coming in to set up an Easter egg hunt
Easter
for us?
egg hunt?
Maybe.
That's yeah.
That's also. You know what? I'll put that list of possibilities. I would also put that on there.
I'm ready for that to
That
be.
there
a
could be an
possibility,
Easter
too.
egg hunt a little bit later on.
Yep.
Inside, I would
Do
assume.
you think there's going to be in the eggs just little headshots of drought sabers?
Oh, we could have worked with that. That could have been fun.
This could have been. Yeah, we could have.
I don't think I've participated in an Easter egg hunt in 15 years.
I was in one on Wednesday
This week?
this week.
Really?
I swear to God.
It's not that recent for me, but I have younger siblings, so I've had to partake.
I was gonna say,
but,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not at that point right now.
No, yeah, I did it. I hunted for eggs on Wednesday.
Interesting.
What was in the eggs? Candy?
Candy,
Okay.
dollars,
it's always candy,
nickels.
I
Yeah.
like dollar bills, $5 bills if you're lucky, kind of a thing. Sometimes.
There was change in some
Yeah.
of these eggs.
Oh, terrible.
How about that?
No, don't even want.
Sneaky
Loose
you.
change?
Change.
What a disaster.
Sneaky hates that.
Yeah, a couple of nickels and like that. What am I gonna do with
mean,
this?
For these 7-year-old children?
It's currency right
whatever,
there.
25
That's playground currency.
You get
Yeah,
6 eggs with 25 cents in them.
they don't want 25 cents. They want candy. I bet. Right?
Yeah.
Candy over loose change.
The change eggs were definitely the least exciting of the eggs.
What are they going to want to do with the loose change? Buy candy.
I even, you know what? I actually think I saw a kid pick up an egg, shake it, and go, nah. There's a nickel in there. I'm gonna put this egg back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
pass.
need the Snickers
I'm gonna
bar.
pass on this egg.
Yeah.
that did happen.
Is Easter is a candy holiday, but is it? Where does it rank on the candy holidays?
Oh.
It's
Gotta be
certainly behind
2, right?
Certainly behind Halloween.
Halloween's 1 because it's all encompassing.
Is it behind Valentine's Day?
No.
It's 2.
I would say because you get like the Cadbury cream eggs, not to be like dropping the brands, but like those are pretty much Easter.
Those are great.
King Daddy Topper, like
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah, and that's an
diss.
Easter candy. They don't have
Yeah.
heart versions of that for Valentine's Day.
I bet
They probably do, but they're not as regularly.
Sure.
Yeah, what do you?
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like the Easter stuff is just better as a whole. Like,
Yeah.
The big
I don't
chocolate-
need candy hearts.
The big
Like,
chocolate bunnies.
Yeah, like I'm
I-
good with that. That over a candy heart to me is
Yeah.
an easy choice to make.
We walked in. I was young. I was probably like 10. We walked into a restaurant and they had to guess the height and weight of this giant chocolate bunny. It was like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right? And reluctantly, my dad let us do it, and we won it and took that thing
Wow.
home. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a
Nice.
that was a nightmare. That lasted about a month and a half.
Yeah.
This giant chocolate bunny.
We've got the tub of jelly beans in the lobby out here.
Is it a better candy holiday than Christmas?
Christmas is more of a cookie/dessert holiday.
Yeah,
is it not?
Sure,
I
but
would
there
make
still are candies involved.
Yes.
Sure, but the candies for Christmas are way down compared to the Easter candies.
You get the more peppermint stuff.
If you're
right? Like,
asking
is that-
It
dessert,
depends if you like peppermint.
Yeah.
Is a big part of this.
I'm a big
That's good.
peppermint guy. I like the
I do too.
all that stuff. But
I do too, but
Easter's
even
up there.
still, I think if you're going desserts, you've got Christmas obviously beating out Easter, but
Yeah.
candy itself, I think Easter wins. Easter basket's a great moment as a little kid.
Sure. Oh,
Getting
finding
the
that
Easter
with
basket?
all. Oh yeah.
Man, that ruled. Bunch of peeps in there. Oh, peeps! Talk controversial.
Maybe we get to that
let's
later.
ride
I
on
think we're gonna have to.
Because
Do
that's-
some peep radio
I can
later.
Someone-
sling some takes about peeps.
Because someone
I got
out there is
stuff
ready
to
to
say.
tell you that it's not number 2 and it's because of Peeps.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll go 10 rounds with somebody that wants to get at me on that.
I saw a
wanna
heinous,
see a fight.
heinous peeps combination. Like
Well,
they're
there are
making
some-
flavor ones.
There
now.
are some bad
It's
ones.
disgusting. So yeah, we got takes.
Bad ones.
right.
We should find the list of all the Peeps flavors and power ranks Peeps flavors.
I didn't know that there were really like a lot of flavors. I thought there were a
Sneaky,
couple.
We're gonna
I'll drop
blow
this one.
your mind.
This is the teaser. Sunny D flavored Peeps. Like the orange juice knockoff Sunny D.
That sounds fine. It's orange flavored.
Yeah, but if you know what Sunny D is, it's like
No, I know.
fake orange juice.
Yeah,
it's not
but
a real citrus flavor.
Are you gonna tell the difference in like a flavoring between what a Sunny D flavored one would be and an orange flavored one?
If you handed me a glass of Sunny D and a glass of orange juice,
No,
I know, but I
Yes.
like but there's a flavor profile there.
Yes.
that
I
can
agree.
be identified.
I just guess I would be surprised if they were really able to execute that flavor difference in a peep.
I would give them props if they were able to. I agree.
Yeah.
It seems like it's minute.
I think it's more likely it's just it's an orange flavor that they're calling Sunny D.
Do we do a Peep sampling on Monday to get this all figured out?
You know, we might have to
You need to get this done.
bring in the Easter candies on Monday.
Bring the Easter Bunny himself.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
We have some questions.
We got put him in Jeremy's seat. Here we
Yeah.
go.
That would be a good placeholder when he's not here.
The Easter
Just
Bunny.
just throw the Easter Bunny in over there. Well, Sunday, happy Easter. The weekend's coming and the playoffs are coming too. 803-0550 is the phone number. We talked lots of Sabres in the first hour. They fall yesterday 4-1. 2 empty netters. It was a 2-1 hockey game until the very end. I guess that's another part of not feeling that down is they didn't really play all that well. They played a good team on the road and they only lost 2-1 before you get to empty netters, which one of them I don't even think should have counted because there should have been a penalty on the play. Samuelson gets his stick chopped in half, and the rest, just because they wanted to go home, decided not to call anything. You get an empty netter. Whatever. So more Sabres coming up. Brian's coming up at 7:30. A couple of mock drafts, though, that I wanted to get to that I saw this morning. One from USA Today and one from NFL.com. And I'll start with the NFL.com one because I like it more because it's, no surprise, a receiver. And even the title of the whole mock draft from Nick Shook at NFL.com is Bills load up at wide receiver. And it's the guy that Chris Trapasso was talking about in the clip there, falling to the Bills. And it's kind of more of a larger point about this year's class that I want to get to is somebody that is projected to go higher than where the Bills are is going to fall to them at 26 at that position because there are 6 guys that are all thought of as, top 20 pick. But what are the odds that all of those receivers are going to go? That there are that many receiver-needy teams that are going to be looking to pick Carnell Tate. I mean, he will be long gone. That's a guarantee. And then really beyond that, I don't know if anybody else has to be gone by the time the Bills would pick. And in this mock draft from Nick Shook, it's not Casey Concepcion, who's available a good amount of the time in these mock drafts. It's not Omar Cooper, who's available a good amount of the time. It's Jordan Tyson, who is rarely mocked lower at this low, at 26. And I think he would be a really interesting test for the Bills at that position with the health scare that Tyson currently has. Because I think when I'm thinking about that position for that pick, if the Bills were going to do it, and I still think edge is the position and is more likely, and I'm good with that. I think edge is totally defendable and makes tons of sense. They've not done enough at that position. But if it's going to be something on offense, I think it has to be a receiver. You're not going to pick a guard in round 1 that you don't even need to start right away, and it's more of a future need. Joe Marino has been good on this on our show and on Locked On Bills. Just the safety, too. Like, how desperate do I want to be to get ahead of a need with a guy that might not play a lot for me right away? Whereas you pick a receiver, the guy's going to be on the field for you. And Jordan Tyson would certainly be that. He's good. He's great. Like, if he didn't have this hamstring problem that he can't seem to kick, he would not be anywhere near being mocked 26th overall, which Nick Shook has him going to the Bills. And the interesting thing about Tyson, though, if the Bills are faced with that test, which is, all right, look at this guy here. He is a top-level prospect at that position, and the only reason he's falling to us is because teams are afraid of the injury risk. What would the Bills do? Would be a really interesting question. My thought is they would not do it. That even though he's a great prospect and a guy that is, if healthy, always going to go higher than 26th overall. Like, he's probably a top 15 pick every day of the week if there's no injury concern. He's very, very well could be a top 15 pick anyway. If he's the second receiver off the board, or we'll see, Mekhi Lemon in that mix too. But why I think the Bills would maybe steer clear is something we talked about a little bit earlier in the week, which is the receiver position for them and the injuries that they have had since Diggs left. Since Diggs and Gabe Davis first went out the door, and they started this new phase, this new era of, all right, well, let's try this way, do it this way, with middle-of-the-road free agent contracts, and Shakir, and Coleman, and Curtis Samuel, and Josh Palmer. How has that gone? It's gone poorly, but a big reason why, I'm sure they would say, is guys haven't been able to stay healthy. That Curtis Samuel showed up and liked that idea, talented player, and just never worked. Why? He could never stay healthy for this team. Even when he was playing, you had questions about how healthy he was. I think in year one, maybe he was a little healthier than last year, but it was a part of his story as to why it didn't work. Palmer, last year, would be the same thing to some extent. Like, I think it's overstated with Palmer because he did play 4 or 5 games early in the year and wasn't really doing all that much, then got hurt, and then that became the story as to why he didn't have a productive season. He was injured, and he was battling through that. Even though, again, first month of the year, it was not happening, and he was totally healthy at that point. So, but whatever. Palmer, injuries last year. Missed 5 games, played, I'm sure, a couple injured as well. Coleman in his rookie year, they liked where it was going. It seemed like it was trending up. The Seattle game that he had on the road. And then, bang, he gets injured, hit by Jordan Poyer against Miami, misses some time, and they didn't like how he returned from the injury in his rookie year, and it certainly didn't go well last year. That wouldn't have been due to injury, but injury to some extent has been a part of Keon Coleman's story. It also has been a huge piece of the Dalton Kincaid story in his Bills career. It actually is the only thing that seems to be holding him back from being one of the league's top pass-catching tight ends, is the guy can't get his knee right. And has had injury problems going back to his final college season. He doesn't go to the combine because of back problems. Then he gets the knee stuff once he shows up to the Bills, and it's always managing this injury situation. And would the Bills have the appetite with all of that? I could go back even further. All the Gabe Davis ankle injuries that he had, which were used as excuses for why he didn't have bigger years. Like, injury just always seems to be used as an excuse as to why they're not getting more from their pass catchers, going back years. Do you want to sign up for a guy who's plagued by hamstring injuries? I mean, in a vacuum, without all of that context, if I'm a team that feels a little bit more secure at that position, I'd love to take a home run swing on Jordan Tyson. Because if he kicks that problem and he just comes into the league and stays healthy, then he's probably going to be a great player. And the upside of that player is really, really high. He's fantastic. But if I'm a team that already has these injury problems, that isn't as secure at the position, which I think the Bills are still in that camp. I mean, DJ Moore certainly makes it less so. Just would be a little nervous to grab a player like that. I think it'd be really interesting, though. And it would be exciting. Like, I would not be against it. I'm not sure if it were me that I would pull the trigger on it, but I think it would be a really exciting idea if Tyson were to fall around the Bills and that were to be the pick. I mean, really, you might think that if he did fall that far, that's the league telling you, yeah, we don't think this guy is going to stay healthy if he falls that far. But it only takes one team to take the bet and say, no, he'll be fine. And it's also hamstrings. I don't know if that matters to this equation at all. Like, I don't believe he's got bad like knee problems. Chris Bell tore his ACL and is coming back from that. And will he, Tyson did have one injury like that. He did tear his ACL, but that was back in 2022. Whereas Chris Bell, that just happened, and you haven't seen him return from it. Tyson did tear his knee up, but he then came back from it, had a monster college season in his junior year, and then his last year, he was also having a monster year, but then the hamstrings fired up. So he did have a bad knee injury in college, but he did already show that he can come back from it and did. But he's had collarbone injuries, hamstring injuries. It's just, can the guy stay healthy is really it. The other mock draft that I saw this morning that I wanted to get to from USA Today was mocking the Bills. This was from who at USA Today? I'll get that. But it was the Bills drafting a linebacker. C.J. Allen out of Georgia. We've talked about him. He's been mocked to them before. Not a new name by any means. The Bills have not signed a single linebacker at this stage in free agency. Milano still available. Shaq Thompson still out there. I think he is more likely than Milano. He has experience playing in a defense like this. He was probably the Bills' best linebacker last year. And if he can play this system too, can play middle, can play the Mike, can play the Will when you are in packages like that. Like, Thompson makes sense as someone cheap to bring back. But that's a Band-Aid. That's not a long-term solution. Here's my thought whenever I see the Bills mocked with a linebacker or an interior defensive lineman or a guard or a safety. I would say mostly the same. None of these positions that the Bills have a big enough hole at to be talked about in the first round, to me, are valuable enough positions to really want that to be my first round pick. Linebacker, that should be a plug-and-play position. We had the stat last week about how few first-round linebackers make it to their second contract with their teams because the value just really isn't there. And more, that is becoming the draft. We've had a lot of guests recently pointing that out. Like, the draft is really becoming not just who's the best player, but what value are you getting by drafting this position and hitting on it? Because if you hit on a great linebacker with your first-round pick, that's good. That'd be great. But I'm only saving like $15 million from what the top linebackers in the league are getting paid. Whereas at the edge rusher position, at receiver, at corner, of course at quarterback, that goes without saying, offensive tackle, like there are these 4 or 5 positions where you hit on that and it's just so beneficial to the way your cap works and the replaceability of these guys. I like C.J. Allen a lot. And same thing, like wouldn't be upset if he ended up being the pick. But I just think there are better ideas with your first rounder. And I can just plug in Shaq Thompson again. To go with Bernard, Dorian Williams, and Joe Andreessen, is that the best linebacker room in the league? No. But I don't know. I just don't feel the desire to feel like I need to have the best linebacker room in the league. And if you draft C.J. Allen, he might be immediately great and become an all-pro and be a guy like that, and that'd be fine. That'd be really good. But It's not something if I'm the Bills, I just want to be chasing. But if that's where they end up going, then it'll be more about, less about just the position, but more about the remaking of the defense and how's this guy fit, and are we going to use him in different ways than the previous Bills linebackers? That's a part of this too. So there's a lot that goes into it. I like the player, C.J. Allen, but it's more about the position for me. And then Tyson, of course, it's more about the injury risk. 803-0550 is the phone number. You get a lot of mock drafts dropped on these Fridays. We'll see if any more come up in the next couple of hours. Back to the Sabres, though. Brian Koziel when we come back, as the Sabres have to wait at least another day to clinch the playoffs and end the playoff drought. We'll see what we get. 803-0550 is the phone number. It's Jeremy and Joe. Brian next here on WGR. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road, beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza, give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game, hanging out, and that could still happen in a game 3. Is it? Where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage? I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah, that's correct, I think. It helps, certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a... I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be, if not just because you do play games at home still. Like you get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home. And, I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as, when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans and for me. I would rather see them, obviously, start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even 10.
Right? Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. So that goal was not only a important goal for the game because it ended up being the game winner. It also was the end of a streak. It was the first goal that Zach Metza had been on the ice for against at 5-on-5. Really, I think he doesn't play penalty kill, so that's probably just all situations, but I have it by 5-on-5. The first goal he was on the ice for against since October 24th. Which was his 3rd game of the year. Last night was his 39th. So a 36-game stretch for the Messiah, as some are calling him. And Paul earlier called in Metza was not great on that shift. I might tend to agree that pairing wasn't that good. Stanley got turned around on what should have been a breakaway goal with about 10 minutes to go. But I'm not panicking at all. I still think that's their best third pair.
Zach and the Beanstalk.
Zach and the Beanstalk has such great T-shirt potential. It's got to keep it up, though. So, Metza on the ice for a goal against, again, first time in a long time for him.
Darlene will not keep it in. This will be an empty net goal for Ottawa. They will go up 3-1, and they do with 2:18 remaining in the third period.
The Sabres did not break the playoff drought last night as they fell to the Ottawa Senators by a score of 4-1. They can still break it, though, on their own terms with a win tomorrow against Washington. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock on the road. Looking around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports the free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins likely will be starting games for them in 2026. They signed him yesterday. Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down from the number 6 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. And in baseball, the Blue Jays take on the White Sox today at 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. The Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. And the Mets take on the Giants today at 10:15. The Final Four is set in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. It'll be tomorrow, starting out at 6:09 with Illinois taking on UConn. And later, 8:49, Michigan takes on Arizona. Some good games there. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
And Stanley can't keep it in. Race for the puck. It's a breakaway. Right on net. Saved by Luukkonen. Oh, and a big one.
It's one of your moments of the game. Firth moments of the game. For all the moments in your life, go forth to Firth. Luukkonen on the breakaway in the third period. That kept the Sabres in it at the time, but they still end up falling. A couple empty net goals. Gets the score to 4-1. Ottawa over Buffalo. We got to wait just a little longer for the playoff drought to officially end. And now the division race gets even tighter. Tampa ties them in points, ahead on a tiebreaker. Montreal now only 2 points back. Brian Koziel joining now on the Western Hotline, maybe slipping a little golf along the way as well. Tee to green tomorrow. In fact, we'll start there. Tee to green tomorrow where, Brian?
Good morning, Joe. We are at East Aurora Country Club tomorrow. Looking forward to heading out there.
Should be warm. It's going to be like 70 today. So
yeah,
might be
a lot of courses opened up this week. I don't know how much people are able to play because it rained so much, but I know that. I mean, they do need rain to make everything kind of start growing again. But I think probably it would have been a soaky walk for some places if you ended up going out.
Yeah, is everything right now? Even though you got the Valero Texas Open right now, everything is about like who's playing well going into the Masters.
Yeah, I think that's probably what most people's focus are at right now. And, a lot of the big names, we're looking at, obviously, Scotty Scheffler. We're looking at Rory McIlroy. And there's probably some questions there for Scheffler, who has a win already. Mm-hmm. I think for his standards, people are thinking like, well, is he playing as well? Probably just because normally he's, over the last 3 years, Joey's already won 2 or 3 times, and here he's only won once so far. So his standard is just so high, people think, oh, what's wrong? There's probably not anything wrong. And for McIlroy, remember, he had some issues with his back, and we're not sure kind of how healthy he is, but he'll be a huge story this week because, of course, this is where he completed the Grand Slam last year. And then, I guess historically, this is the first time since 1994. We found out yesterday Phil Mickelson won't compete. Not that I thought he would win, but for Mickelson, and we know Tiger not competing, it's the first time since 1994 that we won't have Woods and Mickelson in the event.
So first time in my lifetime then. That has not happened. Mickelson or Tiger playing in the Masters.
Yeah, always one of them has participated since '94. So yeah, that's the first time since those, the kind of big 1-2 punch. Those two. Not to get you down a sidetrack here for a moment, but I was talking with a couple of people this week about because of Tiger's incident down in Florida and him taking a leave. The PGA of America has announced that they're not going to consider Tiger anymore for the Ryder Cup captains for. The event, in 2027 in Ireland. And, it was a thought that probably this entire, maybe this, upcoming decade of Ryder Cups, it would have been literally like all Tiger Woods and all Phil Mickelson. I know that the Bethpage event last year that everybody thought, hey, that's Mickelson's event. And kind of like what Luke Donald's doing with Team Europe, he's going to do 3 in a row and dominate. There was probably an initial thought of, you could have Mickelson and Woods be your captain for like over a decade straight. These are like your, top faces of American golf here. And now who knows? They both have so much issues off the course, personal, things to overcome. Mickelson going to live, Woods with all of his off the course issues that who knows? Maybe will we ever see either of them ever be a captain? Like, for those of you that care about the Ryder Cup, like those two names maybe not being involved, like that's a huge disappointment for USA Golf. Yeah,
right. Like I don't even know who you're thinking about now. I mean, we'll get to that. And the Masters next week. So tee to green tomorrow, 7:00, and they're at East Aurora Country Club. Last night, Brian, on the Sabres, we talked a little bit earlier about Ottawa, and they get a goalie performance like that, they are a super dangerous team. That's been the biggest problem for them all year. But I heard Samuelson kind of put it this way in post-game, Lindy as well. Like the Sabres were not happy, it seemed, with their own effort.
No, they were not. And Lindy was about as short as he has been after games over the last month or so. Just was not happy. Very direct. He's like, we didn't win battles. We didn't deserve to win the game. He said they even talked about it after 40 minutes of like, look, it's tied. It's here for the taking. We've got to go out and just win battles and make it harder on them. And both him and Zucker used the word stressful last night in terms of like they did not give Ottawa any stress at all in terms of playing last night. They thought they made it really easy for the Senators, especially in the third period. And I think that was fair to say that the Ottawa played desperate. He's like, we did not have it. I love what Zucker said too. He's like, we need to play with urgency without panic. I think that's a phrase that probably could have worked for the Sabres for the past 14 years throughout the entire drought. But I think it worked well for last night's game. And I mean, both goalies were great. You mentioned Allmark. Luukkonen was great too. They gave him a chance to win. I mean, obviously the last 2 goals are empty net goals. So that's probably, both goals against, a Cousins tip after Dahlin gives it away. And then the one that was through traffic, he didn't see it. And Allmark didn't even see the Samuelson goals. I thought both goalies were excellent last night.
Yeah. Do you feel like on the big picture, like they've lost 4 of 6, and I don't know, I said this earlier, that they haven't really dominated a team for 60 minutes in a while here. I might want to couch it. Like, I think they were far and away the better team against the Islanders. Like they could have won that game by more than they even did. So maybe that one game withstanding, do you feel like their play overall in the last couple of weeks is concerning, or would you even qualify it as, poor by any means? Again, the results are not coming in the way that they were before, but it was a crazy high standard that they were setting for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if you said, you're going to 6-2-2 in your last 10, that's a good stretch. But they were just at such an incredible clip that it feels in some sense disappointing. Almost like how dare you win a game in a shootout, right? Instead of regulation, I guess. Right. But they are being a little bit more sloppy with the puck, I think, in their own end. I definitely see less bodies at the net. I feel like that there's certain players that are always camped there, guys like Zucker and guys like Benson, but I don't think you're seeing the pack of everybody being around there. Even the D getting involved up in the play as much, not seeing it as much. So Thompson can't score every game for them, and I think that, when he's not, there's got to be others that can contribute. So, yes, I think there has been a little slip. I think the standard was literally at 10 out of 10 there, so I still think maybe they're playing at like 7.5 out of 10 right now, which is still very good. But when you're in a race right now for this division where Tampa is playing like at 9 out of 10, and Montreal is playing at like 10 out of 10 right now. So There's no room for error. It's incredible to think that even through this incredible stretch that the Sabres might have to open up on the road. It could very easily happen. Tampa, I think, to be honest, like it's in their hands. Tampa next week plays Buffalo on Monday, and then they're in Montreal on Thursday. So if Tampa wants to take control of the division, if they go win twice in regulation against Buffalo and Montreal, like it's there for them. And obviously, I think that the Sabres probably, I think, have a decently easy schedule of the group. Montreal is playing all desperate teams that are in the playoffs. Not only do they have Tampa, they've got to play Boston, they've got Ottawa. So the schedules, if you look at it, I think it's there for Buffalo to maybe have an opportunity. But those games against Tampa, I know it's easy to say, are going to be huge swings in the standings.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like Monday will be super interesting. Like how they look coming out in that game. Is their hair on fire? Like they were so energized and ready for the last meeting. Obviously, that ends up being 8-7. Are they going to have that juice and energy for that game? Which, again, and for 60 minutes, because I think that is the thing right now is their consistency in that effort. It's not that long ago, like the Sharks coach said, like, man, we think we work hard. That team works hard. And I still think that's true. I don't even know that that's it. Like the effort and working, like Samuelson talking about how they weren't playing direct enough yesterday. How many times have Sabre fans been watching their games recently and yelling, why didn't you shoot there? I mean, you had a couple of plays last night even. Like, maybe that's part of the problem is they're just trying to be a little too passive and guys aren't just ripping it when they've got an opportunity.
I think that's a fair assessment. I think, you look just 22 shots last night. Some of the regular players in terms of you look at their shot attempts and they've been down lately overall. Samuelson says, too many turnovers, too many cute, not playing direct enough. I think that's probably fair. In their assessment. When the Sabres are at their best, it is everybody's shooting and they're all at the net to try to collect whatever comes about from those shots. And I don't think that's necessarily they had a lot of that last night. It could be too, how teams are playing a little bit tighter here now too. Even things are getting called a little bit tighter. I don't want to just give them excuses on that, but they definitely, when they're playing with that mentality that you described, they've obviously shown that they can look as good as anybody in the NHL.
Brian Kozio with us on the West Her Hotline. We still think the drought's going to end here very soon. I mean, they're going to make it. They could lose out. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. They could lose out and it's still like 60, 70% or something to make it. So when it does end, Brian, I don't know, like emotionally, what will that be for you? Because you've been on these broadcasts forever, and the drought has been so long, and a lot of the moments that are remembered over the years are frustrating, and maybe they're even funny now. But like what would it be like for you? You think when the moment actually hits that they get that X next to their name in the standings?
Yeah, I think it'll be kind of like a little deep breath of like, holy cow, this is 19 seasons of doing the post-game shows, but I don't remember like kind of how it felt because it's been so long of doing those playoff games. I think because the last time they made it, it was such a whirlwind of them changing ownership and Terry Pagula getting it and him talking about the sole purpose of the Buffalo Sabres is to win the Stanley Cup, and it just was like you were on this magic carpet ride, and then obviously they didn't get out of the first round, but there was no sense at that moment that they were trending downwards in any way. If anything, you thought it was just going to keep continuing because of the new ownership coming in and that there was not going to be any sort of worry about money or any sort of thing like that, and how it was going to be hockey heaven. People were going to want to come here. And obviously it spun out of control pretty rapidly there. The tank years were uncomfortable to watch for sure. I always quite never knew how to handle that, being in the building and kind of seeing how these players were reacting to it and talking about it, but also understanding the value in picking very high and what that meant. Like, that was always tough for me to navigate in terms of like truly, how this should play out. Now, obviously, the fact that this is spun so quickly here in the right direction, in the positive direction here, I think it's still maybe tough to sink in that, yes, in 2 weeks from now, we're going to be amped up and ready to go. I'm sure the tone of my voice will be at a different level when we're in here, maybe, hopefully, a home game one for the playoffs in 2 weeks.
Yeah, how different will that be for you? Like, I think we talked earlier about the value of being at home and what that's been like in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, teams have been fine without it. Like, Florida won the Cup last year without ever having home ice advantage. So it would be nice to have, but isn't it more... It's more about that, isn't it? Like, just the opportunity to celebrate the first playoff game and do it in your own building, more than even the competitive advantage.
I would agree. I think for the most part now, I mean, this is going to sound old of me, but probably, there is no Boston Garden, Chicago Stadium, like there's the odd, like the home ice advantage just isn't what it is anymore. I mean, all these buildings are so similar. I feel like there's only one possible opponent that I feel like there could be an advantage, and that would be at Montreal.
Right, they're most likely.
Yeah.
They're most likely opponent right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a place that can be a tough spot to play. Everywhere else, I wouldn't necessarily say that there's any sort of like fear or anything along those lines. But I think the symbolism of starting at home, the symbolism of not only the drought is over, but just what the scene can be like, and can they even just take advantage of some of that energy to start and get themselves off to a good start in a series or even in the first period of game one. I think that would go a long way. And I want it just for the fans of Western New York who have attended these games and stuck by this team here throughout this drought, because I think having it at home for game one, it would be a really, really tremendous scene to be down at KeyBank Center or in the plaza or wherever they set up the party and things like that. I think it would be a nice reward for all that have been through all these years of watching them not be good.
Brian Koziel, Sabres and Capitals tomorrow at 7. Tee to Green tomorrow at 7 a.m. from East Aurora Country Club. I guess we'll wait a week to talk about Jason Day's Augusta outfits.
Holy those cow. Were interesting. He's going fly fishing with that or bird watching, you said?
Right. Like a combination of the two, maybe? I don't know.
Wasn't it last year he wore, it was the sweater and Augusta made him take it off, right? It was so flamboyant, right?
I wonder if you could bet on that. The odds Augusta doesn't let Jason Day wear something that he's picked out. All right, we'll see. Thanks, Brian.
Okay, guys, thanks.
Tee to Green tomorrow at 7. The Masters next week. We'll get Brian on, of course, next week as that approaches. Sabres and Capitals tomorrow. Paul coming up at 8 o'clock. More on that home ice advantage conversation, because Montreal's their most likely opponent. That is the one place where it does kind of exist. 803-0550 is the phone number here on WGR. So that goal was not only a important goal for the game because it ended up being the game winner. It also was the end of a streak. It was the first goal that Zach Metza had been on the ice for against at 5-on-5. Really, I think he doesn't play penalty kill, so that's probably just all situations, but I have it by 5-on-5. The first goal he was on the ice for against since October 24th. Which was his third game of the year. Last night was his 39th So a 36-game stretch for the Messiah, as some are calling him. And Paul earlier called in Metsa was not great on that shift. I might tend to agree that pairing wasn't that good. Stanley got turned around on what should have been a breakaway goal with about 10 minutes to go. But I'm not panicking at all. I still think that's their best third pair.
Zach and the Beanstalk.
Zach and the Beanstalk has such great T-shirt potential. It's got to keep it up, though. So, Metsa on the ice for a goal against, again, first time in a long time for him. Couple of mock drafts, though, that I wanted to get to that I saw this morning. One from USA Today and one from NFL.com. And I'll start with the NFL.com one because I like it more because it's, no surprise, a receiver. And even the title of the whole mock draft from Nick Shook at NFL.com is Bills Load Up at Wide Receiver. And it's the guy that Chris Trapasso was talking about in the clip there, falling to the Bills. And it's kind of more of a larger point about this year's class that I want to get to, is somebody that is projected to go higher than where the Bills are is going to fall to them at 26 at that position, because there are 6 guys that are all thought of as, top 20 pick. But what are the odds that all of those receivers are going to go? That there are that many receiver-needy teams that are going to be looking to pick Carnell Tate. I mean, he will be long gone. That's a guarantee. And then really beyond that, I don't know if anybody else has to be gone by the time the Bills would pick. And in this mock draft from Nick Shook, it's not KC Concepcion, who's available a good amount of the time in these mock drafts. It's not Omar Cooper, who's available a good amount of the time. It's Jordan Tyson, who is rarely mocked lower at this low, at 26. And I think he would be a really interesting test for the Bills at that position with the health scare that Tyson currently has. Because I think when I'm thinking about that position for that pick, if the Bills were going to do it, and I still think edge is the position and is more likely, and I'm good with that. I think edge is totally defendable and makes tons of... Paul Hamilton coming up. More on the Sabres. Got more mock drafts coming out, too. Really quick basketball thing. Luka Doncic, last night, who's in the MVP race, has been insane for the Lakers. The dumbest rule in the NBA, and one of the dumbest rules in sports. He's played 64 games this year. Last night, he gets a hamstring injury. Could be the rest of the regular season. If he doesn't play again, he's ineligible for all awards, because the NBA is a 65-game minimum. And it's definitely, that rule is there for load management stuff. It just doesn't work, though. There's still load management. And now the guy, he's got to play through injury, so he's eligible for all the stuff that, gets your contract to go up, and just, I hate it. Game minimums for awards and MVPs, and I don't like it. Paul, when we come back, Sabres fall to Ottawa. The drought's still going to end. It's just a matter of when. We'll get to him when we return. It's Jeremy and Joe. This is WGR. Couple of mock drafts, though, that I wanted to get to that I saw this morning. One from USA Today and one from NFL.com. And I'll start with the NFL.com one because I like it more, because it's, no surprise, a receiver. And even the title of the whole mock draft from Nick Shook at NFL.com is Bills load up at wide receiver. And it's the guy that Chris Trapasso was talking about in the clip there, falling to the Bills. And it's kind of more of a larger point about this year's class that I want to get to, is somebody that is projected to go higher than where the Bills are is going to fall to them at 26 at that position, because there are 5 guys, 6 guys that are all thought of as, top 20 pick. But what are the odds that all of those receivers are going to go? That there are that many receiver-needy teams that are going to be looking to pick Carnell Tate. I mean, he will be long gone. That's a guarantee. And then really beyond that, I don't know if anybody else has to be gone by the time the Bills would pick. And in this mock draft from Nick Shook, it's not Casey Concepcion, who's available a good amount of the time in these mock drafts. It's not Omar Cooper, who's available a good amount of the time. It's Jordan Tyson, who is rarely mocked lower at this low, at 26. And I think he would be a really interesting test for the Bills at that position with the health scare that Tyson currently has. Because I think when I'm thinking about that position for that pick, if the Bills were going to do it, and I still think edge is the position and is more likely, and I'm good with that. I think edge is totally defendable and makes tons of sense. They've not done enough at that position. But if it's going to be something on offense, I think it has to be a receiver. You're not going to pick a guard in round 1 that you don't even need to start right away, and it's more of a future need. Joe Marino has been good on this on our show and on Locked On Bills. Just the safety, too. Like, how desperate do I want to be to get ahead of a need with a guy that might not play a lot for me right away? Whereas you pick a receiver, the guy's going to be on the field for you. And Jordan Tyson would certainly be that.
Darlene will not keep it in. This will be an empty net goal for Ottawa. They will go up 3-1, and they do with 2:18 remaining in the third period.
The Sabres did not break the playoff drought last night as they fell to the Ottawa Senators by a score of 4-1. They can still break it on their own terms with a win tomorrow night against Washington. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock on the road. Around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins likely to be starting games for them in 2026. They signed him yesterday. Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down for the number 6 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. In baseball, the Blue Jays take on the White Sox today at 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. And the Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. The Mets take on the Giants tonight at 10:15 in the late window. The Final Four is set in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. Tomorrow at 6:09, Illinois, 3-seed, takes on 2-seed UConn. And then in the late window, 8:49 approximate start time, Michigan takes on Arizona, battle of the 1-seeds there. Heads up, football fans, as Pittsburgh prepares to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season. The celebration will begin the night before with an unforgettable invite-only night of music taking place Wednesday, April 22nd at the Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes a round-trip airfare, 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
I thought we totally outworked them, and it's unfortunate we had to be done in by a cheap shot late in the game by Tucker.
Did Jokin get hurt on that? Was it a knee?
Knee-on-knee hit. He goes after his head. He dives afterwards. He's known as a diver. He couldn't take the hit that we gave him, so he knocks our guy out of the lineup for probably weeks. That's a joke. I want him suspended. I want him fined. I'll come to the hearing. I haven't called the league once. I'll call him 10 times tomorrow. If you go knee-on-knee and take a shot at a guy's head at the same time, you don't deserve to be in the game. We're going to the playoffs and you're going to take out one of our best players because you couldn't take a hit? That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
We've seen enough of this season as well.
I've seen enough of him that it's a joke. He dove early in the game. He dove on Jokin, and he took his knee out, and he gave him a headshot. And we get a penalty on the play? That's a joke. That's the definition of a joke right there. He can take his knee, he can go after his head, and we get the penalty on the play? Because he's reacting because he got hit, and the officials don't see that? That is a joke.
Is it going to be long-term, Lindy?
It's long-term. It's long-term. You go after a guy's head, they've already made the rules. You go after a guy's head, you're suspended. He went after his head, he took his knee out, suspend him. Get him out of the game. I've had enough of that. It's a joke is what it is.
Lindy roughed down the Sabres room, Brad.
As that's playing, I'm thinking, this will be funny. 20 years ago today is that Lindy Ruff rant. Darcy Tucker in the 06 season, cheap shot on Jochen Hesch. And Lindy, I don't know if I've ever seen him that mad other than maybe the Ottawa brawl. He was a little more mad. And I'm thinking, actually, are people confused right now? Because he's still the coach. Like, it was not from last night. There was nothing last night that happened that would have got Lindy that riled up. That was a Darcy Tucker cheap shot from 20 years ago. A lot of 05-06 comparisons between these two teams. We'll get Paul Hamilton in on the show as the Sabres fall last night 4-1 to the Ottawa Senators. And the drought still going for now, not officially dead yet. But I said it yesterday, I think this team can win the cup. How many teams should that be allowed to be said about in hockey? Generally in hockey, it's thought of as that number being greater. I also don't know that that's fair, by the way. Hockey has this reputation, I think because 15 years ago, a couple of 8 seeds won a Stanley Cup. The Kings were one of them. That this is the league where truly anything could happen. And I think that's, to some extent, correct. But it is funny to look at. 2 teams have made the Stanley Cup Finals out of the East in the last 6 years. Right? It's Tampa, 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 Florida, Florida, Florida.
Well, you've been going all day about Florida did it without home ice.
And they did it without home ice.
So
right?
like that's they were a low seed. They didn't.
That's fair.
I think it's.
But is it true? The reputation of the sport would be anybody can do it. That's in. You just make the playoffs and anything could happen. And I don't know, like I got dynasties here or at least near dynasties from Florida, from Tampa, Chicago had their run, LA had their run, Boston. Like there aren't that many teams that have done it.
Yeah, that's true. I think that, and even with Florida, like I just pointed out, the rebuttal would be, yeah, but everybody would have told you that they could do it, and that some of the higher seeds probably weren't going to be able to. So I think there's probably 6 teams every year that are in the playoffs that you go, yeah, they could do it for real.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 in the West. It's Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota, right? Those are the 3 over there that I think are real, true threats. I don't see anybody else over there really making – I mean, Edmonton obviously is there, but I don't think they've got it all together the way they need to. And, we're worried about Anaheim, Vegas. Yeah. These teams are all not, I don't think, complete enough. And you go over to the East, and it's Tampa, and I think you're getting to Buffalo next, and maybe Montreal. Right. It's about where it ends, right? I mean, do you think what? Carolina, I could see Carolina doing it too. I should add them to the list. I think they have a rep for just they've always been this team that, they could do it, and they never do. Mm-hmm. So, that doesn't mean they can't, but I think they've got a little bit of baggage.
Yeah.
But I often think there's almost 2 tiers to every playoffs every year. These are legit teams, and these are teams that are either on the back half of them being legit or just getting started. And that's kind of, I think the Sabres are in a little bit of both of those groups right now. So it's, I wouldn't say that every year I think anybody can do it. I think there's a list of teams that I look at and go, yeah, they could win. And I would say that 9 times out of 10, the team that wins is on that list.
All right, so let's play it out. Tampa, yes.
Yes.
Buffalo and Montreal?
I'm going to go yes.
They could both win the Cup.
I think they could both win the Cup.
Carolina?
Yes.
I did hear a great breakdown, though, of Carolina the other day. That was they are, the part of why they get stuck in the playoffs every year, they can only play one way.
That's right.
Their style, man-to-man, high pressure, they can only play one way, and if it doesn't work, they have no pivot, and that's why they always falter.
Yeah.
And that made me think, well, they can be great all they want. They'll never do it. They'll never do it if they can't figure that out.
And
maybe they'll figure it out.
I think that they could, absolutely. I think Brind'Amour is a good enough coach to figure it out. But I also think that the system itself that they are unable to depart from becomes easier to break as you play them more, which in the playoffs you're
that
playing
was the
series.
point. That was the point that was made. I gotta find it. It was a former coach who said that doesn't work in series because they can't play 7 games that way.
No,
they'll run out. They'll get exhausted by game 4.
And not only exhausted, but you learn guys' tendencies enough to go okay, Aho's on me. I've been playing against Aho for 5 games. I know he's gonna shade on my inside shoulder. I'm going to fake, there are ways to beat man in hockey just using sort of knowledge of what you've known. And that's why guys like Crosby have been around for forever. Just they got a Rolodex in their head. They're like, who am I playing tonight? Oh, I'm going up against, all right, John Carlson. All right, I know what he does. I know how to beat him. And a series allows you to build a book on a team. And I think that Carolina struggles when a book gets built on them.
Right.
And their goaltending's a disaster all the time. That doesn't help.
So should we put them in it? I feel like we have to, don't we?
I feel like we kind of have to. If we're putting I think if we're putting Buffalo in it, we got to put Carolina in it. Because Buffalo has concerns that I think someone would argue are equal to the concerns Carolina does.
Pittsburgh?
No.
Islanders?
No.
Boston, Ottawa? Are we done in the East?
I think we're done in the East. I think
I wouldn't say yes to any of the other teams.
I wouldn't either. I want to save room a little bit for a COVID Carey Price level run out of Ilya Sorokin. You remember that year that Price just
carried
them all the way to the final?
Yeah.
That I could 100% see Ilya Sorokin doing that.
How many examples of that are there really, though? Montreal, 21.
Yep.
How many other teams got all the way there and it was just the goalie? Like, it was mostly the goalie. Because that has not been Edmonton or Florida. I mean, Bobrovsky's been good, but...
Yes, but a part of a system there.
Yeah, Colorado wasn't that. Tampa has not really needed that because they're so loaded in front of Vasilevsky.
Yeah, well, Luongo, Vancouver. Does that fit here a little bit? Like, he was really good that year.
It's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. But that's, I think, to your point, like that's how maybe far you got to go. I mean,
the Kings were a little bit of this.
Binnington was pretty special for them. That I would give Binnington that. Binnington carried them.
I'm looking. Here's another point about the parity in the league. You know, because we'll finish out the exercise though. We picked 4 teams in the East. Teams in the West, Colorado, obviously.
Yeah.
Dallas and Minnesota. Yes?
Absolutely.
Edmonton and Vegas?
I might be ready to hit the brakes on Edmonton and Vegas.
That they can't do it.
They are they've gotten hot, but their goalie's going to be Connor Ingram.
I know.
That's your plan?
Well, someone on that side has to be capable of getting in because someone will make the conference finals, right?
True.
Anaheim, Edmonton, Vegas,
right,
and probably Utah will be that side.
You can't get Dallas, Minnesota. Like, that can't be the conference finals. So,
right.
All right. So I guess by default, you almost have to put Edmonton and or Vegas in there.
And look, you could say, like, just there's no way any of those teams beat Colorado in the conference finals.
Barring injury,
all right, that's fine.
That's pretty much right.
So nobody over there. So that's 7 teams in the league.
Yeah.
And like that, again, the point about parity in hockey, I think it's overstated. That's not that many. That's just our opinions of it. But like I'm looking at the last 15 years. How many teams have made it to multiple Stanley Cup finals?
Okay,
it's a lot of teams.
There's a lot of teams that did that. Yeah,
the Kings,
Florida, Tampa, Kings,
Chicago, Boston has made it to multiple. The Lightning obviously have made it to 4. I think the Penguins have made it to multiple.
Yeah, Penguins.
Tampa, I already mentioned Tampa. Florida, Edmonton, Vegas has made it to multiple finals.
It might be harder to name the teams that won and didn't go back.
Yeah,
since 2000. Who's done it? Anaheim.
Trivia, like last 15 years, name the teams that have made it to exactly 1 Stanley Cup final.
Right, Anaheim, Calgary.
Well, in the last 15 years, I went. Okay, I mean, if you go further out, you're right.
That's how far I'm thinking back.
Like Vancouver made it once.
Yep.
The Devils made it once. The Sharks and Predators made it once each.
Sharks only made it once?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just the one year they lost to Pittsburgh.
Right. They just lost to Pittsburgh that one.
Dallas made it once.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, Colorado's only made it once.
And
I think I'm done.
Before they won, they were like a playoff struggle team. Like they couldn't get it done, and then they did. And now it's fine.
This really what this is kind of the AFC, NFC point in football. How the same guys have been going in the AFC for years until really this season. And in the NFC, it's parity, different teams every year. This guy. Like, the East in hockey has been the same teams, and the West is all over the place.
That's a little what you heard from Pelly. Like, we didn't see the train coming. It's new team. It's Buffalo and Montreal. Like,
right.
It's not Toronto and Boston. Like, Boston's still in, but whatever. They're not at the top. And I think that's, it changes a lot.
Well, this is part of the point, though.
How many teams, though, do you go into the NFL playoffs and think they can win the Super Bowl? Is it 7 teams? I don't know if it's 7 teams.
I think it's less.
It's like 4, I think. Like going into this year, who did you think could win it from the AFC? The Bills.
This year was a little tougher on that. Most years, I would say it's like 2 or 3 teams.
Right.
This year was tougher because it felt more wide open.
Yeah.
I might have said 4 or 5 this year.
Because
like I thought Jacksonville had a chance to do it.
Right.
I thought the Bills did. Yeah, like this year was a little different, but most times your point is right.
I don't know
the way I think about the NFL playoffs.
You go into it's like Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo,
right?
And then it's the Rams or the Eagles or the Niners or the Commander, like one of those teams. Like that's it, and it's kind of like, all right, there you go. There's your guys.
Yeah.
I think it's roughly similar, I would say.
Well, this is part of the point that even like the Leafs president made the other day. Like, this is the new blood.
Right.
Like, this is the transition from, okay, like some of these teams, Boston, even though they're going to make it, they're different. And Toronto is not here, and Florida is older, and they had injuries. So they're maybe a little separate from this. But Washington has aged out. Pittsburgh has aged out. Like the stars of the league, Crosby and Ovechkin and these guys, like they are no longer. They're still good, but they're not sitting at the top of the mountain anymore.
No.
And someone's got to
take over,
jump in there, and I think Montreal is 1,000% gonna be here to stay for a long time. I actually would tell you right now, and this is not to trash or to be too critical, I think Montreal's more likely to stay around here than the Sabres are going forward. Like, I think the Sabres will too, but aren't the Canadiens set up just a little bit better right now because they're just a little younger than the Sabres are? And don't they have like one more elite level player at the top? Or would you say
I think
equal?
I think the elite level guys is roughly equal. I think the Sabres have more D, they have more forwards, is what I would say.
That's right.
They've also got better looks at goaltender. They've got Fowler and Dobish, who are both, I would say, at this point ahead of anybody with the Sabres. In terms of like projection, I think UPL right now at this second is probably better than both of those guys, barely.
Yes,
but he is a little bit.
Lions also had a better full year.
Exactly, but
he's
Dobish,
he's 10 years older.
I could see either one of Dobish or Fowler becoming 1A premier true starters, like Shesterkin, Sorokin, Hellebuck level guys. Those guys are both supremely talented.
Yep.
I don't see that for anybody the Sabres have. I don't know that Levi has that anymore.
No.
Ahead of him.
I guess I think the Sabres are a deeper team. Like, this really is going to start to sound like a playoff preview, and they're the most likely to play. I think the Sabres are a deeper team than Montreal. But if I were to look at like the top 4 guys on each team, like Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson, and Slavkovsky, to me, are just that's an unbelievable top 4 of players. 1 defenseman, 3 forwards. And, like, no offense to Tuck and who would be the 4th guy I'd mentioned? Samuelson?
For the Sabres?
For the Sabres,
Tage, Dahlin, Tuck. Yeah, the 4th guy is kind of
that's
wild
all I
card.
mean. Like,
it's who do you want?
Yeah.
I think you're asking.
The Sabres make up for it, I think, in that they're deeper. I just think Montreal's got a little higher level of the top talent.
I think that Montreal is as well set up as a team has been in the last 10 years. I think they are ready
It's a lot to say.
But seriously, they've got Lane Hudson, who is a witch doctor out there, signed up for 8 years, $8 million. 8.
Right.
Like, that guy should be making 12.5 if he signed in a year. Like, that is the kind of deal they're getting on him. They've got Slavkovsky, who is going to continue to grow into a real problem. I think Caulfield is about to score 50. And
he will get. He's got 7 games to get 1 goal to get the 50.
And he's how old is he? 24? 25?
Yep.
I mean,
Suzuki will get 100 points.
And Suzuki is a two-way monster.
Yeah.
Great player. I think that Montreal is ready. I am horrified of what they're going to look like for the next 5 years. I think that they are going to be. I think the Sabres are as well really good too, and I think it's going to be like slugfest time.
I think they're going to be rivals.
I do too.
I think the most likely outcome, and this is one of the things that Bettman likes to hold up as the reason why they have the playoff format that they do, even though it just competitively stinks. But one thing you will get is if these two teams are both going to be really good for years and years, because they are good but also young,
right?
They could play this year in the playoffs, and they could play next year in the playoffs, and they could play the year after that in the. And if you start getting multiple playoff series, then it becomes
like
Florida,
an
Tampa,
all-time rivalry.
Yeah, it won't be as physical, these two teams, as Florida, Tampa, but the rivalry might be there.
It will be passionate, to that level.
I'm excited about that. Like, Montreal is not a team I've ever really. I've never really had a bad thought about them. Like, it's never really been Buffalo, Montreal in the last 25, 30 years. Like, were they ever good at the same time? Like, when the Sabres are going to the conference finals in 06 and 07, like, I don't remember Montreal really being a team that was like they had Cristobal Huet and like they were just kind of a middling team from what I remember. I think the Jose Theodore MVP season was like earlier than that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They've never really been. He's great. They've never been great at the same time, and they've not met in the playoffs since the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest sort of hatred probably stems from the OG 70s series against them. That's as far, you got to go back there to really have them being good and fighting one another. Like, they played a few series against one another in the 70s, I think, that were tough. But
sure,
I mean, that's the 70s. It's 2026. So, there's some distance there.
Yeah, they in 06 Montreal lost in the first round to Carolina.
Yeah.
And in 6 and in 07 they didn't make the playoffs. They had 90 points, but they didn't make it. So those 2 years that the Sabres are great, Montreal's not there. And then from there, it's Buffalo's not really around, and Montreal's slugging it out with Boston every single year. It's definitely an arena I'd like to feel. Brian said it earlier, too. Like, if there is one place in the league that still has some sort of home ice advantage, you'd think it's Montreal. Here's some numbers, though, I wanted to get to on that, because part of why they're coming up today a lot is they won again last night, 7 in a row. Sabres lose. So now it's a 2-point lead is all for home ice. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a huge lead not that long ago. And now the Sabres playing game 1 at home in the playoffs is really at risk. And the Canadiens have a game in hand. You'd think the Bell Center, the loudest place in the league, is a huge home ice advantage. The home ice thing competitively, the Sabres this year are not that different home versus road.
Yeah.
24-10-4 at home, 22-12-4 on the road. Like, not that different. Montreal, funny enough, is actually better on the road this year. Their points percentage is higher. They're 22-8-8 on the road versus 22-13-2 at home. So it's about the same. They have the same amount of wins, just more overtime losses.
Yeah.
But there's no real big difference. So that's regular season versus playoffs. I just don't think you have to be afraid competitively for opening on the road. It would stink to not have game 1 be at KeyBank Center.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too, where it's like I would love it, but not because I think it's going to make that big of a difference in the series. I just would like to I would like it for the fans. That's all.
Let's go to John in Lockport next. What's up, John?
Hi. I just wanted your opinion on the Sabres. Ever since they seem to have brought these new players in on these trades, the chemistry of the team seems to be totally gone. I mean, they're losing to teams they shouldn't lose to, or they're barely getting by anybody now. What was your opinion on that?
I don't know that it's their fault, though, would be my thought. Like, Carrick was fantastic. I would even argue there were games that they would lose if they had not traded for Sam Carrick. If the guy in his place gets those opportunities, I don't know, is Josh Dunn scoring 5 goals from the same spots that Carrick was at? They win the Kings game. He scores a huge goal at the end. He scores a game-tying goal against the Lightning in their game. What was the other? He had another big goal somewhere along the road. I got to find which game it was. But, to me, they would have lost more without Carrick. I guess Stanley would be the player to look at here. And I want to trust the numbers on Stanley a bit, which basically say it's not as bad as it looks. It looks bad. He's so slow and takes penalties. Last night, Stanley, multiple times, is hitting dudes that don't have the puck. And I don't even think he's trying to blast them. It's just when you're 6'8", and you're running into a guy who's 6 foot and he goes down, the ref's going to have to make a call. Am I going to make this a penalty or am I going to let it go? And you had a play against New Jersey a couple nights ago where it is a call, and then you had last night where the ref's like, no, I'm not doing it. So there are some downsides to his game, but the Sabres with Stanley on the ice are outscoring their opponents 6-3. It's 150 minutes. They are outshooting their opponents 69-64. Scoring chances are the same. The expected goals are even. Like, I'm not really getting beat when he's out there. So I want to trust that to say, no, he's not the reason, and their trades are not the reason that they've hit a little bit of a rough patch here. And even, again, rough patch, like the way Brian put it, it depends how you look at it. Like, I'm looking at the schedule and going, they've lost 4 of 6, and they only got 1 regulation win in their last 6. But even Brian's like, they're also 6-2-2 in their last 10, which is totally fine and acceptable. So even their rough patch isn't that rough, which speaks to how talented they are. 803-0550 is the phone number. Good question, John. I don't think the trades have anything to do with what, you could qualify as a rough patch. Let's get to Paul coming up here in a little bit. Got another draft thought as the mock drafts are pouring in here on a Friday. It's like, this is the day, it's for the weekend, right? Like their big mock draft drop at all the sites to get ready for the weekend as we're a couple weeks away from the NFL draft. 803-0550 is the phone number. It's Jeremy and Joe here on WGR. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza, give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game hanging out, and that could still happen in a game 3. Is it? Where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage? I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah, that's correct, I think. It helps, certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a... I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be, if not just because you do play games at home still. Like you get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home. And, I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as, when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans and for me. I would rather see them, obviously, start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even. Not even 10.
Right? Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. So that goal was not only a important goal for the game because it ended up being the game winner. It also was the end of a streak. It was the first goal that Zach Metza had been on the ice for against at 5-on-5. Really, I think he doesn't play penalty kill, so that's probably just all situations, but I have it by 5-on-5. The first goal he was on the ice for against since October 24th. Which was his 3rd game of the year. Last night was his 39th. So a 36-game stretch for the Messiah, as some are calling him. And Paul earlier talked about, called in, Metza was not great on that shift. I might tend to agree that pairing wasn't that good. Stanley got turned around on what should have been a breakaway goal with about 10 minutes to go. But I'm not panicking at all. I still think that's their best third pair.
Zach and the Beanstalk.
Zach and the Beanstalk has such great T-shirt potential. It's got to keep it up, though. So, Metza on the ice for a goal against, again, first time in a long time for him.
The Sabres did not break the playoff drought last night as they fell to the Ottawa Senators by a score of 4-1. They can still break it on their own terms with a win tomorrow night against Washington. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock on the road. Looking around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins likely will be starting some games for them in 2026. They signed him yesterday. And Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down from the number 6 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The owners' meetings wrapped up earlier this week. Joe Brady and Brandon Beans addressed the media. You can find that on demand in case you missed it at WGR550.com. In baseball, the Blue Jays, they take on the White Sox today at 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. The Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. And the Mets take on the Giants in the late window at 10:15 tonight. The Final Four is set in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. We got 3-seed Illinois and 2-seed UConn taking on each other tomorrow at 6:09. And in the late window, Michigan, 1-seed, and Arizona, another 1-seed, duke it out at 8:49 approximately. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
I don't think we really helped ourselves. Weren't really skating, attacking as a unit. When you're not getting pucks in deep, it's pretty easy for other teams' demons to stand up on you. Yeah, I mean, credit to them, but I think we kind of did it to ourselves. Energy was super high. Obviously, we know the stakes with a win. Yeah, disappointing for sure, but obviously not the end of the road for us where we're standing. Just have to get back to work and put on a better performance in 2 days.
It's Matthias Samuelsson. The Sabres fall to the Senators last night. Got some trivia on the Sabres in a moment. Also, a former Bill retired yesterday, and I believe he's going to make the Hall of Fame. Get to that as well. But first, your phone calls, 803-0550. It's Jeremy and Joe. We also got to the bottom of the egg conspiracy. There were eggs on top of an SUV when I went out to the parking lot in the rain. What on earth could that have been? We have the answer. So
we've got it.
We've got that. So we'll get to that too. First, though, Mike in Rochester. What's up, Mike?
Hey, just wanted to touch base. When you were talking about the goaltending situation for the Canadiens, they still have Sam Montembeault there. I got to believe that Fowler's going to be back down with Laval, and they're going to probably go with Dobish and Montembeault in the playoffs.
I don't know, though, Mike. I don't know the last time that Montembeault has even played for them.
He had a really bad stretch in the middle of the year, and when that happened, they called up Fowler and started force-feeding Fowler starts, and Montembeault's been cast aside.
Yeah, Montembeault is kind of like Ellis for them. Like he has not played since March 6th, so we're coming up on a month. And, I mean, since January 24th, he's played 3 games.
Yeah, he's not playing.
And he's been healthy, I think.
Yeah. Maybe he was hurt. I don't know. Might have been hurt for a little bit, and that might have jump-started Fowler's start. I'm not totally sure. I don't cover them, so I'm not positive. But he's not in it. He is not in the conversation for them, unless something goes awry here. Like, the only way he gets in there is if it goes bad. It is going to be one of Dobish or Fowler. It seems like they want it to be Fowler, but Dobish is playing a little better right now, so I think they'll probably have to go Dobish's way. But the Montembeault thing, I mentioned him very briefly because he's not even really a factor for them. He is cast aside. He did not have a good year at all. I mean, early in the season, Montreal was having like the Ottawa problem. They were great, and they just could not get a save, and that was why they were struggling. And then, they fired their goalie coach, and then Montembeault's kind of been cast aside, and it's been stable in that. And they've won 7 straight, and they're making a charge for the division. So that's what goaltending does for
you look at the goals saved over expected numbers, by the way, Dobish is actually having a better year than I thought. He ranks 10th in the league this year. Lyon ranks 13th, and Luukkonen's 22nd. That's total. Like the totals, not how much, depending on how many minutes you play. But that's impressive.
It's not like he's played 60 games. Like he's
played 38.
Right. So his number, his raw number being there is impressive.
Yeah, it's only a couple games more than Lyon and Luukkonen.
Yeah. So it's he's having a good year, which is why I think they're going to lean his way.
We did a lot of drought memories yesterday. We thought the drought might end yesterday. It did not. Do you have any memory? Probably wouldn't. It's tough to remember. It's an opening game of a regular season. The first game of the playoff drought was in Finland.
Right.
Remember them going to Finland?
Right.
Leno is how I remember it, because Leno had just got here. And the only thing I remember about this game, the first game of the playoff drought, maybe tomorrow is the... Would tomorrow be qualified as the last one? I think it would, once you officially clinch.
Yeah, I think clinch is... Yeah, I think that ends it.
The first game of the playoff drought, Leno scored in his first game in Finland. After signing with the Sabres, he only scored 9 more goals in his Sabres career. But I was looking at the roster for this game. It was against the Ducks, by the way. Luke Adam had 2 assists on the night. Pominville had 3 points. Vanek had 3 points. I don't know how mean would it be to ask you to name this roster?
Oh,
impossible.
Probably pretty mean. Yeah, I'm at this point I'm 11 or 12.
Right.
So, I'm probably I don't have the best of memory.
Leopold.
Okay.
Gerby.
Right. Pominville, Vanek.
Yep. Grignani's on this list.
I was just gonna say Grignani. Was Ehrhoff there?
Ehrhoff.
At this point?
Ehrhoff led the team in minutes. No surprise.
And this is Miller and.
That's Miller. Yep.
Who's
Miller against Jonas Hiller?
Oh wow.
Of the Ducks.
I liked Hiller. Black mask he always wore.
Yep.
Strong look.
It was like a spray painted mask.
And Roth
right?
backup.
I'm assuming. I don't have him listed here.
I would think so.
Ennis, Brad Boys.
Right. Coletta yet?
Coletta. Yep. Oh yeah, Coletta for sure. Coletta. Yeah. I mean, in 07,
right.
Coletta's here.
Right. Of course.
Gossad is still here.
Stafford in there?
Gotta be. I don't see him.
Has to be.
Yeah, there he is.
He yelled at me one time.
Drew Stafford?
That story. Yeah.
I think have we told that story?
I think we did. Yeah.
In a practice?
Yeah, we did. He got mad because I thought I pulled my groin. He said, "Get in the net or get off." Pretty awesome. It was a highlight. I loved it.
But yeah, the first Sabre game of the drought was in Finland.
That's wild.
I did not remember that.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tom in Lackawanna. What's up, Tom?
Hey, guys. Just watching that game last night, I still don't know how to feel about Stanley. I mean, I know why he's on our team. I know what he's on the ice to do, but he just doesn't fit as a defenseman for us. I'm wondering what you guys think. I mean, I've heard you guys talk about him before, but, I mean, I want to like him because I like what he does for us. I like the physicality, but he just doesn't fit for me. Just want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. I go back and forth because he doesn't impress me on the ice. He doesn't, but I know what they want from him. We all know what they want from him. They want the toughness. They want the physical nature of his game, and I'm going to trust in the numbers on him. Like, that's just kind of going to be my attitude going forward on a guy like that. If you're not getting outshot like crazy when you're out there, then I'm not going to lose my mind about who's playing 13, 14 minutes a night for them on that blue line. Now, just because they're not getting outshot doesn't mean he's not getting some luck. Last night, you get the benefit of Luukkonen bailed you out when you overskated a puck and then you didn't have near the foot speed to recover, and now it's a breakaway.
Yeah,
and that doesn't go on his stat sheet as a goal against.
But it's a bad play.
He deserved it to go on a stat sheet as a goal against.
Correct.
So
I think there's also a little bit of like the way the league is. There's so many teams. There are not going to be many teams with third pairs with perfect players.
Right.
You are going to have flawed players. And if the flaws are outweighed by the positives, which I think is pretty much happening, or even if you're just breaking even.
Yeah.
That is all that you need. Because as a coach, when you put your third pair out there, you are thinking, okay, survive so I can get Darlene Samuelson back. Don't get scored on. I don't need you to do anything. I don't need you to make a play. I need you to just pass the time until my good guys are back.
Yep.
And if he's able to do that more often than he's not, and the blunders are not so common and so obvious, like maybe they were last night, then it's okay. And that is a functional third pairing defenseman. Not everybody can be Dahlin or Samuelson. That is like, oh, he makes the right play all the time. Guys are going to make bad plays, and there are imperfect players that play in the league because there are 32 teams, and there's too many jobs to have perfect players on every team. It's just the reality of the league. It's spread thin. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, put it this way. Is he any worse than the guy in his position on the third pair for the two teams that we constantly are looking to right now in the division, which are Montreal and Tampa? Right. Montreal, Arbor Zhekaj is playing 11 minutes a night. He's been playing for them on their third pair here.
And
is Logan Stanley any worse than him?
It's the same guy. It's a tough guy that fights, that doesn't do a whole lot else, that is going to make some really bad mistakes for you and frustrate the fan base at times. But also he'll punch a guy in the face and everybody will cheer. It's the same guy.
Right.
That's my point. Is like that there are a million of these guys. And it's just, this is our guy. He's big. Bonus.
Right.
Like, okay. He can reach long. His reach is bigger. Like, that's why you acquire a player like this. It's like it's Bryson, but he can fight and he's longer.
I guess
you upgrade it.
The other thing, though, I would wonder, here we are comparing them to Montreal a lot today, because here come the Canadiens, 2 points back. The series that they get into will be interesting for him in the style of series. We've talked about this for Metza, that, hey, if you get Montreal up and down the ice, speed, not as physical a series, that could actually go well for a Metza to stay in the lineup. Well, how's that going to go for Stanley? Is that terrifying? Is that the type of series we feel like he'll get exposed? Would I rather, for him specifically, have a series against a Boston, a heavier team that plays on the wall a lot? You could make the case either way.
Right. I think that the one thing he's got that would maybe help a little bit against the Montreal is the stick reach can help muddy up the neutral zone and slow down that attack.
Okay. Yeah,
that can be a benefit to being that big, and with that comes being that slow.
Yeah, at the same time, I guess I'm just like envisioning that breakaway play last night.
Right.
I've just got that I've got Caulfield and
you've got
Suzuki
him trying to cut Caulfield off at the red
by
line,
him.
and he just gets burned. And it's like, oh, well, that's not very good.
Let's get Dominic in quickly on this. What's up, Dominic?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Easter or whatever you guys celebrate. Easter. So, but yeah, I was just calling because about the Stanley stuff. I mean, first of all, I would take him over Bryson. Bryson's last game he played for us may have been the worst game I've ever seen a defenseman play. The other thing is, I also think Lindy's kind of like home. You guys already talked about it, but like home ice is cool and all, but like Lindy knows what he has with the other guys. I think Stanley might just be like a tryout in a sense. Not that he's going to get kicked off a team, but isn't it better to know exactly what your best players can do going into the playoffs than maybe having an extra home game? So I think maybe that's just what Lindy's doing, and that's why the chemistry's off, because he wants to play with things so you're 100%, these are my best guys, these are my best pairs, these are my best lines when playoff time starts. So I'm like not really too stressed about it right now.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Like you're seeing what you got, you're getting him minutes. And really in general, even if you weren't just finding out what you have, his minutes will go down in the playoffs anyway. That happened every year in Winnipeg. Every year but one. The last 3 playoff series that he played, I mean, regular season, what are his minutes? 15 minutes and 35 seconds. What are they in the playoffs? 11 minutes and 38 seconds. The year before, in the regular season, Stanley's playing 13 minutes and 46 seconds. In the playoffs, 9 minutes and 59 seconds. Like, I think naturally, you're going to get to the playoffs. You're going to want your top 4 on the ice. And, all right now, Lindy's playing Stanley about 15 minutes a night. It'll probably be 11, 12. He won't be out there as much. So that also, I think, waters down the worry and the panic over, he's too big and slow and I'm getting beat. When again, you're not getting outshot when he's on the ice. And I think it could be a lot worse. 803-0550 is the phone number. Got to the bottom of the egg conversation from earlier. Eggs on top of a car out in our parking lot. We know where they came from. Yeah. And a former Bill retiring that I think is going to make the Hall of Fame. When we come back here on WGR. On last night's game, that game to me is why you've heard so much about, I don't really want to play Ottawa in the first round. Because if they can get that performance in goal, and I think Allmark, he wasn't tested a ton, but he made a couple of big saves. He only allowed the one. He almost got off to another really bad start. Puck almost going in his net. He had that the game before. If Ottawa can get that goalie performance, they're incredibly tough to beat. You just can't take... They had the puck all night, I felt like. I mean, the Sabres maybe it was a little closer to even, but it certainly wasn't a dominant effort by the Sabres at all. I mean, I heard Samuelson in the postgame talking about how they were just way too cute. Ottawa was more direct than they were, and they are just a heavy team that I think is kind of built for a playoff series. And they're a great possession team all year long. It's just been mostly the goaltending has not been there for them. And I don't know that Ullmark will give you that game, given what he's been this year, more than 3 times, twice in a playoff series. I mean, the save he makes on Byram at the end of the period, he comes so far out of the net on that play. Or at least he ends up so far out of the net.
Yeah, that was a really good read by him to recognize that all Byram had to do there was shoot the puck. And when you know that as a goaltender, your first thought is, all right, I'm going to get as much ice as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, Ullmark, I don't know if he made that save halfway to the hash mark.
Yeah.
But he was all the way out there. It was really a smart, good read. I thought he was really good last night. Quiet. There was a one-timer stop on Dahlin, I think it was, that was really good.
Doan had a great chance in front.
Yeah, Doan, even a great save on Doan. I thought he was, what Ullmark can be and why he can be scary to me in the playoffs is he can put performances like that together and string them together and get hot. I think we saw that in Buffalo, and we've certainly seen that in Boston and now in Ottawa. He's been better for the most part since his break this year. And I think you're right. Like that game last night is what makes Ottawa scary.
So I went out to my car earlier. There was a carton of eggs on top of someone's car. Got to the bottom of it. Brian Mazurowski down the hall at WBEN. It's his car. And we were on the money with what happened. He bought them and then left them on top of the car, and they stayed there driving home and to work today.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. Like, the carton getting a little wet.
It's the key.
Well, it's also rained more since this morning. It's been raining for the past hour.
Those eggs are
soggy.
Can eggs get
toast?
No,
soggy? They're not.
Well, that's what the shell's for. Joe.
Right. So would the eggs be fine? Theoretically,
the eggs are fine. Yeah.
Would you still eat them?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I thought you said the eggs could get soggy. I got
the
confused.
Cardboard.
Oh, okay. I thought you also meant the eggs getting soggy.
I was like, that can't happen.
No. I'm sorry. I meant the packaging.
They'd still be fine to eat.
Yeah. There's a shell.
Depends on the temperature, though.
They've been sitting outside for
in the most mild temperature.
16 hours.
Yeah.
It's been
but your fridge is
hours.
40 something degrees. It's been 58 all through the night.
And it was 60.
Yeah.
They're out there now still probably. Did he go out there?
How hot?
You would still eat them? They have no problem?
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Am I crazy or does that?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Do chickens in the wild have their eggs in fridges?
Well, they don't eat their eggs.
That's a good point. No, but
I don't know.
Doesn't.
Also, the answer is no. They do not.
Right.
They don't have fridges.
No, they don't.
They're room temperature. I think it's okay.
Put a poll up. When we come back, there's an NFL executive that is putting the Bills on blast for the DJ Moore trade. That and your calls when we come back here on WGR. Couple of mock drafts, though, that I wanted to get to that I saw this morning. One from USA Today and one from NFL.com. And I'll start with the NFL.com one because I like it more because it's, no surprise, a receiver. And even the title of the whole mock draft from Nick Shook at NFL.com is Bills Load Up at Wide Receiver. And it's the guy that Chris Trapasso was talking about in the clip there, falling to the Bills. And it's kind of more of a larger point about this year's class that I want to get to, is somebody that is projected to go higher than where the Bills are is going to fall to them at 26 at that position, because there are 6 guys that are all thought of as, top 20 pick. But what are the odds that all of those receivers are going to go? That there are that many receiver-needy teams that are going to be looking to pick Carnell Tate. I mean, he will be long gone. That's a guarantee. And then really beyond that, I don't know if anybody else has to be gone by the time the Bills would pick. And in this mock draft from Nick Shook, it's not Casey Concepcion, who's available a good amount of the time in these mock drafts. It's not Omar Cooper, who's available a good amount of the time. It's Jordan Tyson, who is rarely mocked lower at this low, at 26. And I think he would be a really interesting test for the Bills at that position with the health scare that Tyson currently has. Because I think when I'm thinking about that position for that pick, if the Bills were going to do it, and I still think edge is the position and is more likely, and I'm good with that. I think edge is totally defendable and makes tons of sense. They've not done enough at that position. But if it's going to be something on offense, I think it has to be a receiver. You're not going to pick a guard in round 1 that you don't even need to start right away, and it's more of a future need. Joe Marino has been good on this on our show and on Locked On Bills. Just the safety, too. Like, how desperate do I want to be to get ahead of a need with a guy that might not play a lot for me right away? Whereas you pick a receiver, the guy's going to be on the field for you. And Jordan Tyson would certainly be that.
The Sabres did not break the playoff drought last night. They fell to Ottawa by a score of 4-1. They can still break it on their own terms, though, with a win tomorrow night against Washington. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock on the road. Looking around the NFL, The Athletic's Nate Atkins reports free agent quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is weighing a few options. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport believes Raiders quarterback Kirk Cousins likely will be starting games for them in 2026. They signed him yesterday. Browns general manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that he'll continue to look for opportunities to trade down from the number 6 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Stephon Gilmore has retired from the NFL. In baseball, the Blue Jays take on the White Sox today, 2:10. The Yankees play the Marlins at 1:35. The Red Sox take on the Padres at 2:10. And the Mets take on the Giants at 10:15 tonight in the late window. The Final Four is set in the men's NCAA basketball tournament. Number 3 seed Illinois takes on 2 seed UConn at 6:09 tomorrow night. And Michigan, 1 seed, takes on 1 seed Arizona at 8:49 approximately tomorrow as well. So some good games there. Heads up, football fans, as Pittsburgh prepares to welcome the nation to the unofficial beginning of football season. The celebration will begin the night before with an unforgettable invite-only night of music, taking place Wednesday, April 22nd at the Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet, with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fans, WGR.
When we traded up for Tremaine, you always say, okay, well, anytime I move down or move out of a pick, I still look on the board when that pick comes to see who we would have taken. So DJ Moore is a guy at 22. And so we actually asked about him at the deadline. We asked about, a number of players, and Chicago was like adamantly no. Ran into those guys at the combine, and the tune had changed enough that they were open to listen if it made sense. And I know I was the only one they told that, but that's kind of how, the DJ Moore kind of got going again was in Indy.
Bills GM Brandon Beane on the DJ Moore trade, which I don't know how to put the DJ Moore trade. I've warmed up to, but part of that is where you were starting from, which was what? You paid what for DJ Moore? I want to get to what one executive had to say about that in a minute here. Happy Easter. We get to some Peeps conversations. I'm stunned to learn how many flavors of Peeps there are, because I thought there were like a couple, and that was it. First, though, let's get one phone call in. Nick's been waiting on hold from Tampa. What's up, Nick?
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, a quick question, because I totally agree with the previous comment about the Stanley issues that we have. My question, a little different. The goal scoring, it's kind of dropped down a little bit. Since post-Olympics, we've scored 3 goals or less 11 out of the 19 games, which is asking a lot of your goalies to allow 2 goals or less to be consistently winning. My question is, are you guys concerned now that, the division is now turned into a 3-team race with us having a potential possibility? And again, I'm Sabres over Lightning here, but we could be facing statistically the best goalie in the league right now, who's probably going to win the Vezina, and Vasilevsky. Is that asking a lot of your goalies who are having career years when the goal scoring has kind of gone down a little bit?
It would be. What I would want to say to that, Nick, is a faith that it's going to come back, that the goal scoring to the level that it was at. And I think they try to play that way. They try to be a team that is going to get out ahead of you early, and they also, being a team that wasn't super high volume with shots, but had a high shooting percentage, they trust that they have guys that can finish at that level. That is a big difference from where I thought they were at the beginning of the season. One thing I didn't think this team had when the year began were finishers, guys that could bury their chances. And that was wrong. That ended up being very wrong, that they have guys that are going to score. And Tage is obviously at the top of that list. Quinn has become a guy like that. Doan has become a guy like that. that those guys are going to start scoring again at a higher rate. And they don't need to pour 45 shots on to get it. So even if they're playing Vasilevsky, like they played Vasilevsky earlier in the year and they put 6 on him. I don't know that they'll do that much in a playoff series, but yeah, I think they have the goal scoring. I think you got enough sample of it throughout the regular season that I'm not worried about it for the playoffs. I think they'll score goals. I would say I'm more worried about their ability to keep it out of their own net for the playoffs than I am, are they going to score? I think they're going to score. Even the Tampa 8-7 game, there was a little, well, Vasilevsky didn't play that game. Johansson did. But some of the opportunities the Sabres had in that game, like Vasilevsky might stop Zucker on a breakaway in the third period, but it was a breakaway. There's no shame in letting that one. I have to go back and remember like all the goals that Johansson let in, and is there a big, big difference? They'll probably see a good goalie in the first round because right now their potential opponents, Montreal, we just talked about Dobish, who's got awesome analytical numbers and has had a good year. If you play Boston, it's Swayman. If you play Tampa, if Montreal catches both, then it's Vasilevsky. Like the only team you would play where you would think, oh, I could get these goalies would be the team you played last night. It'd be Ottawa. And thinking Ullmark's not going to be able to do what he did last night for a whole series. Any other team you play, like who's in the playoff picture that hasn't had a good season from their goalie? Or that goalie's their biggest concern? Is Carolina that? Right now, goalie's their biggest concern.
Yeah, goalie for Carolina is a problem.
Is Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, that's Skinner and Shilov's.
Yeah,
it's a question for sure.
And then it's Ottawa who's in the second wild card spot.
Right, which even that can be, like with the way Ullmark's been, it could be a question mark. But yeah, it's not, you're likely to see a guy. Like you're going to have to beat a goalie that is legit at some point. If you're trying to make it to the Stanley Cup final, you're going to beat somebody that's a premier starter.
Yep.
And that's a challenge. But I do...
If it's Columbus, it'd be Jet Greaves, who's also a young guy.
He's had a really good year, too.
Like, it's young guys really that have had good years.
Yeah. Which I get why that would be attractive, but also, like, who's to say none of these guys are just good now?
Yeah.
Like, that's very possible. Greaves has been coming for a while. I like him. I've said how I feel about the Montreal guys. I think they're both great. So I think you're going to have a challenge there. It's going to be interesting to watch.
The only guys I would be worried about is the goal scoring going to return at the rate it was at would be, are you getting goal scoring down the middle? Because Tage will give you that. But like between McLeod and Norris in their last, I think it's in their last, like, I'll have to look. If combined games, doesn't McLeod have like one in his last 27?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And Norris has one goal in his last 14. Mm-hmm. So I've got like 41 games between the two of them with 2 goals. Like, I'd like their centers not named Tage or Carrick to start scoring a little bit more.
And that should be Norris, really.
And it should be more, right, that's more about Norris.
That's on him. Like that, he is their highest paid forward.
Yeah.
But I know we had chat and he discussed, the transition game and his defensive number. That is all well and good. You got to score. You're the highest paid guy on the team or forward on the team. You need to produce points, raw points. It is required for the job. You don't get a free pass if you're good because you can, make a good transition pass. I get it, and it is absolutely valuable. But he needs to produce if he's going to be what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they've been getting by without it from him for a while here now.
Right.
And if you could get that from him and add it into what they're doing, then you go from 6-2-2 to like 8-1 or 8-1-1. Like you get. That's a big deal. So I would really like to see him heat up a little bit here. I worry that the shooting is not happening as much because he's tentative about his injury. I think, when he went out last time, It was against Tampa, right? It was Tampa. Yeah, I was there.
The first Tampa game?
It was not the original. Yeah, not 8-7, but the game before that, I believe. He or maybe even one before that one.
I thought it was before that, but maybe I'm wrong.
But there's a moment where he goes up and loads up a one-timer, cocks it, and goes, ooh, and like grabs his side. And it's like, oh, well, is that a concern for him? Does he not feel like he can rip the puck like he wants to anymore? Or right now, just because he's not 100%. And, if that's the case, then that's the case, and you deal with it. But if it's not, you need him to start waking it up.
The wingers do score, and that's part of why they've been able to get away with their centers not scoring.
Yes.
Like, you could trust almost all of them. Like, when healthy especially, because you would throw Osselin into that picture, Tuck, Zucker, Quinn, Doan. Like, they've got goal scorers on the wings, which is, I think, why they can get away with Norris and McLeod not scoring. But I think you're right. Like, you got to get more from Norris shooting the puck. And I thought he tried to let a couple rip yesterday.
Yeah.
He fanned on one of them. He did get a hold of another. But it's not happening regularly.
No.
I've been fine with him, but
I
think you're right. I guess I'm just... Part of why I'm fine with him is I'm just happy he's healthy.
He's there. Right. He's alive.
That he's doing anything.
But that's not... that's not good enough for me.
Right.
I know that's how we may feel about it, and we all are just grateful that he's on the roster right now.
Yep.
But if we're talking about the Buffalo Sabres' highest paid forward, not a depth guy that we appreciate having for his defensive metrics and ability to win a faceoff, we're talking about a stud that's supposed to be like you traded Dylan Cousins for this guy. He's got to be an impact player in more ways than just deep analytics. I think that's very, very important and something that is valid to be asking of him.
803-0550 is the phone number. Sabres play the Capitals tomorrow. If they win, they clinch a playoff spot, and the drought is officially over. That'll be at 7 o'clock. We'll have pregame starting at 6. Brandon Beane makes the DJ Moore trade. And the immediate reaction, and I still think the thing that is left unexplained, maybe because there is no real good explanation for it, is nice player, why did he cost that much? Why? I mean, when he was originally traded for, my original reaction, and I think almost everybody's was, this is good. Especially when Rappaport said it was going to be a mid-round pick. Like, all right, good. He's going to help you, and this is why he doesn't cost a lot. You're buying low after he had some regression, and his team doesn't really want him anymore, and they clearly want to move off of him. And then it was, it's a second-round pick, and they're guaranteeing money down the road in 2028. What? Why am I investing in the player this much? He's not a nice player. He'll help them, but this doesn't make any sense. And that is the same attitude that it's not just out here, people that cover the sport. It was within the league as well, at least with one or two executives. Mike Sando from The Athletic at the league's owner meetings, he said a numerous amount of executives from AFC teams about the moves in free agency and in the trade market. And as he writes, many executives could not understand why the Bills were willing to send such a high pick for DJ Moore. One executive on the deal said, quote, DJ Moore was going to get cut, and they gave up a second-round pick to get him. They gave a second-round pick and $40 million in guarantees. What is going on? That was one executive on the trade. Another executive, DJ Moore has 2 years of regression now. He's a non-traditional receiver that wins with size and yards after the catch. I thought that was a little strange. Size, he's not that big. He also said, I still feel they needed someone that could win down the field. Moore can do that. He did it against Green Bay, but I feel like his strength is on the underneath catch and run stuff, which they already have in Khalil Shakir. But even beyond that second quote, because I don't know what you're doing, unnamed executive, with he wins with size. He's not big. He's a good player contested catch-wise, but the original comment about they were going to cut him and they gave up a second-round pick to get him. I don't know that they would have cut him. Maybe they would have with like a post-June 1. They would have figured out some way to shed the salary. How much is that going to matter going forward? Like, it's frustrating this month that they don't have the second-round pick. That is true. You'd like them to have that, and it feels like they should have that. But if more produces, I guess, will it matter that, well, he was maybe going to get cut anyway and would have been available to anybody? If he's good, I don't think it really will come up. But if he's not tremendous, if he's not really good, then it will be remembered, I think, that you acquired a player that was not valued by his previous team. They wanted to get rid of him. That's always been the confusing part to me. And I think to everybody is what caused him to cost this much. And that has not been, I've never really heard a great explanation for that. I mean, I've always believed like the only way that happens is someone else was bidding against them. That's how you drive the price up. It's the only thing that makes sense. For the year he had in Chicago and where his value was as a player and what Chicago's situation was and their motivation to get rid of him, that the only thing that would make any sense is someone was bidding. And wouldn't it make sense that New England was? I don't know that. No one's reported that New England was in that. But that's before Romeo Dobbs signs. It's before free agency. And what could cause you to bid and overpay on a player that you want is not just I want him, it's, oh, the team I am directly competing with in the division also wants him. I wonder what New England thought of that idea and if they were really in it. Because they were in the receiver market. They're still in the receiver market, right? I mean, all the rumors that they will be the team that trades for A.J. Brown are still out here. And there's this wonder, are we just waiting for June 1st when they'll trade for A.J. Brown with a different cap designation? Because I guess for trades you have to wait, and for free agents you don't when you cut guys. I really wonder if New England was in on it. Because that would make sense then. It doesn't mean that it's right and you might not like it, but that would make sense as to why he costs that much, is you're bidding against a division rival. And if that's how that went down, then credit to Chicago, because that's how you get a lot for a player that you want to dump. And not having that day 2 pick, it also increases the likelihood to me that they'll trade down. That to me at this moment is the most likely outcome. Like if I could bet right now the Bills to not pick in round 1, I think I would bet it. They have talked about trading down. They've done it in the past. They have done it in the past specifically to get into a round that they're not in. The Coleman trade down wasn't just about Worthy and Coleman and Kansas City. The motivation behind it was we thought we were getting a third-round pick for Tremaine Edmonds in the compensatory formula. That didn't happen. We wanted to be in round 3. We didn't have one. So this move gets us in there. Gets us in that range. That was said. That was explained as part of why they did that move. And won't we get something similar for the second round? Hey, we didn't have a pick at 60. We want to be somewhere in that range. Maybe it's in the early 3rd. So we're going to be looking for that deal. We're going to move out of round 1. We're going to get into early round 2. Something similar to the Coleman deal. And we're going to build up our value throughout the rest of the draft with, hopefully, you would think, another third-round pick. I don't know if that would be the price that would be paid. Maybe it's the Coleman deal all over again. Maybe it's you're moving down from round 1 to round 2. Remember, there were 2 trade downs with that draft. But that I'm going to get from the 4th to the 3rd to go down from the 1st to the 2nd. Maybe you get the same thing. You go down from the 1st to the 2nd, you give up your 4th or a 4th, and you get somewhere into the top half of round 3. I mean, right now, if I had to predict what they do, it's that. And that it will be like an edge rusher. But, of course, will they be tempted by a player? Because you can want to trade down. They could sit there right now and say, I want to trade down. I'd love to move down and get another third-round pick and get 3 day 2 picks, 3 picks in the first 3 rounds, back to where you usually are. But, oh, wait a minute. KC Concepcion fell. Oh, I'm doing that. That's Denver with the Josh Allen draft. Denver was going to trade with the Bills. They were going to move down, and oh, wait a minute. Bradley Chubb's available. We love him. Deal's off. So, doesn't have to happen, even if the Bills think right now, we'd like to move down and build up that capital. Just, I really wonder who the player would be. I just can't see any of these edge rushers being that guy. They could very easily rank any of these guys a lot higher than where the draft pundits have them. That happens every year. But it just feels like they're all kind of in a similar range and tier. And I don't know who at that position sounds like he's going to fall. That the reaction would be, I can't believe the Bills got to look at blank. It's not a big surprise for any of these guys. Cassius Howell or TJ Parker or R. Mason Thomas. Like, none of these guys are, wow, can't believe he fell to 26. Whereas I think some of the receivers are being talked about that way. And that's Concepcion, that's Cooper, that's Tyson, who was mocked to the Bills a little bit earlier today by Nick Shook, from NFL.com. He had Jordan Tyson, the injury-prone receiver that's awesome. So we'll see. But one executive on DJ Moore, he was going to get cut. They gave up a second-round pick. What is going on? We have a poll result on our eggs conversation from earlier. You know it's a good question in poll when it's 50-50. If Brian Mazurowski left eggs on top of his car overnight, drove to work, it was raining, would you still eat the eggs? Owen says, of course.
I'm
50% yes, 50% no.
Whew.
That's a tough.
Now remember, like we're playing out this scenario with what last night's weather was, which was
right.
It was 50 degrees and raining.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, let's take a little quick detour to the chat because this has been a hot topic in the chat.
Okay.
We've got a lot of information. There's a difference between European and American eggs. European eggs are unwashed, which leaves a protective film around the egg, reportedly, that stops bacteria from breaching the shell.
Okay.
So those
sorry. American eggs have that film?
That is European eggs.
European eggs have
European eggs have this film.
And that's why they don't refrigerate their eggs.
That's why they don't have to refrigerate their eggs.
We haven't gotten there yet.
U.S. eggs are washed. So apparently this film is removed, so it's possible that bacteria can breach the shell and grow inside the egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
However,
so the egg isn't doing as much heavy lifting as you might think it would be doing.
The shell's still there, but there's a film missing, I guess, is what we've gotten to.
Okay.
However, I maybe shouldn't think this.
You still want to do it?
I still think
it adds a little punch to it or something.
Well,
no, that can't be the reason.
That's not the reason. No. But I feel like there are food regulations often that are just, we're going to go way over the top to ensure that we don't get sued. And I feel like
that's what you think might be happening here?
5 hours of eggs at room temperature is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that keep their eggs out of the fridge, and they do, in fact, live in America, and they're alive. So I feel like
these, though, are not like in your kitchen. These are outside in the rain.
But how different was the temperature outside than temperature in kitchen last night? It's a little colder.
Also,
Which is better.
We're missing the it rained on them and possibly could have reinstilled some sort of film over the shell as well. The minerals within the water.
Wow,
or
you
something.
think they got refilmed?
I don't buy that.
I don't know. I don't know.
It could happen.
I don't know about that one. It's a theory for sure.
I don't think the rain is helping them become more edible.
Yeah,
it might be washing them though.
But I'm just telling you
but
guys.
that's the problem. We're being told the washing them is the
washing
problem.
is an issue.
So we're washing them even further with more rain.
We're just wiping all the bacteria off like nonstop. Isn't that what happened?
I think the correct answer here is just to not risk any of this and just you don't eat them.
I wouldn't even think about it. I just eat the eggs.
Wow,
it's me.
You're cooking them, so that's helping.
That's also that's another point that I haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
You're cooking the eggs,
Brian
by the way.
Did bring them inside, by the way.
He did.
Walk down the hall with them in hand. So he's clearly, I think, I would assume if he's bringing them inside and not throwing them out, that we're still
They
still
made
gonna
it
do
in the building and not into a trash can.
Yeah.
So far.
So we'll have to get.
Maybe we'll have to
ask
check
him.
in with Maz, make sure he makes it into work on Monday.
There's no way he's eating those eggs. I want to bet.
I'm
right
eating
There's
those eggs
no
and
way.
not even.
See, perfect.
hesitating.
This is what use them for Easter egg coloring.
Don't you hard boil those?
Yeah,
just hard boil them now. You're not going to eat them.
So what's the difference between?
Because I'm not eating them.
I think I might. I think.
Do you not eat your eggs that you?
No, I hate. But that's me. I'm not a hard boiled
so
egg
you're
guy.
you're just not eating the eggs.
I'm not eating the
okay.
eggs.
I was thinking you were saying you hard boil these eggs and then just throw them away.
No. If someone would eat them, I wouldn't.
Right. Okay.
So in this case, no one would, I guess.
I'm not even I'm just not even thinking about it.
I would think about it and probably just be like, if I'm hungry, I'm eating it, kind of a thing. You know, like if that's all I had, I'd eat it. But if I had another carton of eggs on hand, which I don't know why I would, I'd probably go with the other.
An extra?
Yeah.
Just a control unit. maybe I'll just experiment this weekend.
Yeah,
I'll report back. I'll leave some eggs outside for 24 hours.
See if that bacteria gets you a little kick.
Make a breakfast wrap or something.
The kick. I don't know what we're doing with the bacteria and the kick. Like as if it's giving it's like
blue cheese is
not
just
paprika.
mold.
But yeah.
Blue cheese is funky.
Blue cheese is funky.
And that's good. So maybe a funky egg would be good. I don't know.
8030550. I did not get to the Bill that retired that I think is going to make the Hall of Fame. Not that he'll be remembered as a Bill, I don't think. Get to that. And it's an anniversary of sorts in Buffalo sports as well. Both coming up. Your phone calls as well. Jeremy and Joe, this is WGR. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza, give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game, hanging out, and that could still happen in a game 3. Is it? Where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage. I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah, that's correct, I think. It helps, certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a – I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be, if not just because you do play games at home still. Like you get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home. And, I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as, when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans and for me. I would rather see them, obviously, start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even. Probably not even 10.
Right? Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. Welcome back to Jeremy and Joe. It's warm out today in the 60s. So Stephon Gilmore retired from the NFL yesterday. Bills draft pick, Patriots, of course. And I was looking at Gilmore's career. He, of course, was the subject of plenty of debate around here about how good he actually was. I always thought he was very good. I would even say, though, I didn't think he was as good as he ended up being in New England. I thought he was really, really good. He goes to New England, and he makes the Pro Bowl a bunch of times, twice first-team All-Pro, 1 Defensive Player of the Year. And I saw some on social media yesterday wondering if, is he a Hall of Famer? My original thought was no. Great player, but is he a Hall of Famer? I think, though, after looking, he probably is a Hall of Famer. So there are not a ton of players in NFL history that have done what he did, which is 5 Pro Bowls, 2 first-team All-Pros, and a Defensive Player of the Year. There are 31 players in NFL history who have done those 3 things. Defensive Player of the Year, 2 All-Pros, first team, and 5 Pro Bowls. And of all of those players, only 2 that are eligible are not in the Hall of Fame. There are some like Myles Garrett, J.J. Watt. There are some guys that aren't in yet just because they're not eligible. Or Garrett, who hasn't even retired yet. James Harrison is one that has not made it. I feel like he probably will at some point. But I guess if that's where you're at with accolades, I think he's making it. I think Stephon Gilmore will make the Hall of Fame. And 5 years with the Bills, I don't think that hurt. He only made 1 Pro Bowl when he was here. No Defensive Player of the Year or anything of the sort. But Gilmore walking away at 35 years old, and I think maybe Canton is next for him. Easter on Sunday. So how many flavors of Peeps did we learn that there are?
I went out for searching for a list, and I stumbled upon everypeepsflavor.com, which is a website
come on,
dedicated to listing all. Let me get the exact number.
Who's got this sort of time?
All 110 flavors of Peeps.
One of the first things on there also is bunnies for nothing and your chicks for free.
Yes. Right, so there's some, shape alternates as well here. But I, we're not going to sit here and power rank 110 Peeps flavors.
Is this like an official Peeps site?
This looks to me like a blog somebody just made.
It's a fan-made website.
It seems to be a mom and pop situation here with the everypeepsflavor.com.
Okay.
So
again, over 100?
110.
110,
including some that didn't make the cut, like the Peeps Holiday Vanilla Cream on a stick is an option. It's like there's a lot of options. There's Jurassic World Dino Eggs Peeps. Like they Peeps gets around apparently.
Would you eat those eggs if they said
How different are some of these flavors? Because when I think of Peeps, are most of these like the sugar crystals on the outside are the different flavor?
No, I think this is flavored marshmallow as well.
The marshmallow itself being okay.
This is I believe that these are fully tricked out, decked out Peeps. Some even are dipped in chocolate.
There's a lot of chocolate ones.
There's a lot of chocolate ones.
I can't say I've ever had a chocolate covered Peep.
I don't know that I've ever even seen such
I've
a thing.
seen them. I've never tried one.
There are a lot of them.
Way in on that. So
I feel like that could be good. Yeah.
I'm ready.
I mean, cinnamon roll Peeps, cinnamon roll flavored marshmallow dipped in cinnamon icing flavored fudge.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I got hot tamales Peeps. I've got party cake Peeps, sugar plum Peeps,
chili lime mango.
No, that can't be right.
What are we doing?
That can't be
root
real.
beer float Peeps. I mean, it's Peeps is a scene over here.
Chili lime mango. That's
like
number 4.
It's number 4. Number 4.
It is. It is number 4.
Got Pop-Tart variants.
The Peeps market is this big,
diverse, apparently.
That they have they feel they have a market to like hot tamales Peeps. Really?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Coffee flavored?
Candy cane Peeps.
They don't exist for 11 months of the year, right?
No, I think clearly this website's proving that there are 12-month-a-year enthusiasts.
Who is eating Peeps in July?
There's a dark corner of every store where Peeps live year-round, and it's a sad...
It's the dark corner nobody ever goes in.
It is.
Well, I guess somebody's going there.
Somebody's going. Somebody's keeping this thing up and running.
I just can't imagine, like...
Somebody's keeping the lights on.
Yeah, right.
What's for dessert? And, like, someone, like, instead of putting, like, a tray of cookies out, it's like these,
here's my sugar cookie Peeps instead.
My 7 assorted flavors of Peeps.
Mm-hmm.
Or even Halloween. Like, there's some Halloween ones in here. I don't want Peeps in my Halloween bag if I'm a kid.
I'd be thrilled if I was a kid and got Peeps on Halloween.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice little
pumpkin one.
Alternate. Yeah, man. I'd be in on that.
Chocolate mousse cats.
I saw chocolate mousse as mousse.
Okay.
So that was a thing, too.
Grape cats. Ugh.
Grape marshmallow sounds pretty...
Grape anything sounds disgusting.
Horrific.
Like the fake grape.
Yeah, the fake grape can be pretty...
Because that's just like child's medicine. That's what nightmares are made of.
So many of these things.
Should we power rank a couple of these?
I've got a list of 15 if you guys want to try and power rank.
You've got... Wait, like you have a top 15?
I whittled it down to like a 15 that feel appropriate to be mentioned.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
You have your top 15 Peeps out of 110 options.
This took some doing.
Peeps is the most significant Easter candy? Or the most... Not significant. Is it the poster
bunny,
child?
Chocolate bunny.
Yeah, just like a chocolate bunny.
Straight chocolate bunny.
Maybe, yeah.
Right? It's definitely the most controversial. All right. So... I've got 15 options here. I've got fruit punch, sour punch, blue raz, root beer float, caramel mocha, Fruit Loops,
that sounds good.
Pancakes and syrup, cotton candy, hot tamales, tropical burst, party cake, chocolate pudding, strawberry fudge, pumpkin spice, and sugar plum.
Get your pumpkin spice peeps out of my
Should
face.
we do this Survivor style? Should we do this Survivor style and eliminate one by one?
Well, the problem for me is going to be none of these sound good.
Oh, come on.
What sounds the worst? The worst is the hot tamales.
I think I agree with the hot tamales.
Yeah.
Has
Get
to
that
go.
bottom of
All
the
right,
list.
so they're at the bottom. They're 15. Okay.
I'm going to be fighting for the Fruit Loops one to be high.
I
that's
think
the
that
one
should be
I would.
top
That's
two,
the one I
top
would
three.
try.
I'm fine with that. Sugar plum? I don't know that I just don't really even know that I understand what that means.
You want that next?
Is that inappropriate?
You have the 15 options in front of you, so I'm good with you. You leading
I do.
what we're getting rid of here.
I do. I'll give you sugar plum is an option, and I think
What is that? I still don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Sugar plum?
Yeah, like I hear sugar plum fairies and all that stuff, right? Like that's like in children's books and stuff. I don't know what a sugar plum is.
I don't know if it even might not even be real. I have no idea. Okay, so I'll give you two options.
I think it's real. Just
is it?
Something you see.
It sounds like a fake thing to me. All right.
Sorry.
Sugar plum or root beer float? What's worse?
Sugar plum is certainly real. Worse.
I think sugar plum's worse.
Worse.
14. Sugar plum. Root beer float or pancakes and syrup? What's worse?
Root beer float.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay.
But I confirmed, recently that I tried root beer for the first time like months ago. So
What?
Right.
Yeah, like 2
You didn't
months
know
ago.
about this, Joe?
No. I think
3 months
I might
ago.
have. This might
Last
have been
summer.
during the rotation.
Last summer, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. All right. Pumpkin spice peeps. How do we feel about pumpkin spice?
I'm a
peeps?
pumpkin
Is this
spice
Studio
guy.
by Phil Collins?
It is.
You're wondering how long that would
What
take
is
you.
happening?
All right.
Sorry, what were the options?
I had pumpkin spice or what was our other one? Pancakes and syrup.
I'm
Pumpkin
a pumpkin spice guy.
Yeah. You like pumpkin spice more?
I do.
Okay,
I
so
was going the other way.
Oh.
Pancake syrup. So
I'll break the
tie.
tiebreaker.
I'll break the tie. I don't need pumpkin spice peeps in my life.
Get them out.
Come on.
All right. So then it's pancakes and syrup or cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Oh no, wait. I would think I would move cotton candy on. I feel like that works
You
with
like it?
marshmallow.
All right.
I feel like that works better than pancakes and syrup. Right?
Yeah, cotton candy should continue here.
Okay. All right. Cotton candy will be our 11th pick. Pancakes and syrup is out.
We eliminated pancakes and
Yes.
syrup.
Done.
Cotton candy or let's go fruit punch.
Oh no. Do you see the picture of those? They're beet red.
They
beet
look like
red. They're just don't call them fruit punch. Call them red 40
some sort of
peeps.
thermal imaging. Is
Yeah.
what it looks like.
I'm not a big fruit punch guy.
I'm not
so
either.
I don't need that.
I'll eliminate that.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. All right. So then we're into cotton candy or party cake. That's a good matchup.
Party cake. I kind of like the party cake idea. I feel like
Yeah.
that's pretty plain though,
That
right?
should
Party cake.
I think it should
No,
move
that
on.
could be good.
You like party cake?
Cut
We're
cotton
keeping-
candy,
cut-
right?
Cut-
Yeah.
cut cotton candy.
All right. Party cake or tropical burst. I
So
think this
what is tropical burst like? Is this like a gusher? Like there's liquid inside, or
No, I think it's just like mango and kiwi and whatever like sort of fruit. It's like fruit punch, but alt fruit punch. I think is essentially what it is.
You can't tell. You can say
like
alt. It
pie-
makes me immediately want to be involved with that.
Gamble.
What was our other option? We're at right now. We're at
It was party
tropical
cake.
burst and party cake.
Party
Oh,
cake.
party cake moves on, right?
Yeah, I'm cutting tropical burst.
Okay. All right. I agree with that. I'm very much in agreement with that. All right. We've got now party cake or I'm not going to go Fruit Loops yet. So, how about sour punch? Just get rid of all these sour.
Get the
fruit ones.
sour.
Can we
I'm not
eliminate
there.
that, please?
I'm not
Thank you.
there.
All right. How about another blue raz? Are we good with getting them out of here?
Okay, blue raspberry.
No, I would.
If it's the one I'm looking at right now, it's like the icy blue ras.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
That could be interesting.
I would.
Over party cake.
It is icy blue raz. Yeah, I think that's over party cake.
Okay,
Yeah,
party
I
cake.
think
has
that
been
could be
eliminated.
interesting.
Party cake went on a run there. All right. How about party cake? Blue raz or chocolate pudding?
Is chocolate pudding like dipped in chocolate?
No, those are just straight
Okay.
chocolate.
I'll keep going. I like blue raz to
Blue
continue.
raz?
Yeah, I'd like
All right.
real chocolate to be involved if we were going to do the chocolate pudding. So blue raz.
All right, blue raz or strawberry fudge?
Strawberry. Is that one dipped in chocolate?
That does have a chocolate dip on the bottom.
Ooh.
Just on the bottom?
Yeah,
just on the bottom.
Is it a duck?
It's like a dip. It's like a cone. It's an upside down ice cream cone dipped, basically. If anyone out there knows what that could look like.
I think Blue Raz might prevail.
Blue Raz continues.
Oh, wow. That's stunning for me. I can't believe that. All right. Blue Raz or caramel mocha?
Oh, no. I'm not a coffee guy.
Caramel mocha's got to go.
Yeah, it's got to get out of there.
Okay. Blue Raz or Fruit Loops? This is it. This is 2-1.
I would go Fruit Loops number
Fruit
1.
Loops number 1?
Yeah, number 1.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe Blue Raz and Fruit Loops are our 1 and 2.
I just guess I don't know what I'm looking for in a Peep with chocolate and
Fruit Loops wins the Peep battle.
Yeah.
That one makes sense, though. I feel like that one on top.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm ready for the fruit stuff.
I feel like I gotta try one of these now this weekend.
I'm gonna go
we'll
on
have to bring
hunt.
some in.
I'm gonna do some work on this over the weekend, and I'll come in strapped on Monday.
Oh, it's gonna come in on Monday, ready to rank the other 90.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna
be all jittery.
I'm gonna get a shipping container full of Peeps.
12 tons of Peeps have been stolen.
Yes.
Owen Parker is the main man.
I'm gonna call the Kit Kat guys.
Extendo Sports when we come back. An anniversary in Buffalo sports history from a couple of years ago when we return on WGR. I mean, how afraid, though, should we really be about the difference between opening at home and opening on the road beyond just the simple fact that we want them to open at home? Everyone wants them to open at home. The celebration of the first playoff game, party in the plaza. Give me a weekday afternoon with everybody outside before the game, hanging out. And that could still happen in a game 3. Is it, where are we in the NHL these days? Is it that less likely to win a series if you don't have home ice advantage? I mean, the Panthers just won the Stanley Cup, I believe, not having home ice advantage in one single series.
Yeah. That's correct. I think it helps certainly, but I think that it's long been known that it's not a. I think in football it's a greater advantage than it is in hockey. I think could be if not just because you do play games at home still. Like you get series that come back no matter what. You're not getting 0 games at home, and I don't know how much the crowd is able to impact a hockey game as when compared to a football game. I think that can be a little different. So I think home ice it's really more about the emotion of it, I think, than anything else for Sabres fans and for me. I would rather see them obviously start at home so we get that moment. We get to watch the first playoff game there in the building. I think that would be special, but it doesn't. I don't think it. What does it change their odds to win the first round by 5%, 10%?
Probably not even 10.
Right. Is it even that much? So I don't know. I would feel better. I think it would mean more to me if they dropped out of that in terms of their momentum than for the actual home ice advantage.
Right.
I would think that if they drop out of opening at home, they're not going to be playing as well. They're going to be feeling worse about their game. So I'm probably going to not be as confident going into that series.
Right. It'll feel like they kind of they regressed along the way here at the end. The YouTube chat is having a ball right now with the Peeps alt flavors, Buffalo themed.
This chat is just like, this is an all-time day in chat for me.
Peeps on Weck.
Peeps on Weck
is hilarious.
Peeps-a-logs. God, I mean, just some wild ones in here.
Blue cheese peeps, though.
One I thought of that they could actually do is sponge candy peeps.
Oh,
you could make that's a real flavor idea.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
Whereas garbage plate peeps, I'm not sure is
no,
a real option.
Loganberry peeps. It was another suggestion that was solid.
Yeah,
we got
pizza peeps or something like that.
Well, Peeps-a-logs.
Peeps-a-logs. That's what it was.
Peeps-a-logs was another suggestion. The chat. It's a good time, everybody. If you're not already, go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're close to 20,000 subscribers. We might hit it over the weekend. So come get us over the line. We have a good time over here.
It's the 2-year anniversary of the Diggs trade to Houston, which was still mind-blowing when it happened. Not that it wasn't like out there. There was noise about it. It just never seemed believable. And 2 years later, it looks pretty good for the Bills. I would never say the problem with receivers been they traded Diggs. It was that they didn't have a plan in place to replace him, which for years was there and didn't really get accomplished. And since it hasn't gone as great, and now DJ Moore is here for that. There were some old Dawkins clips about Diggs. He was a haymaker, loyal to the organization, so I trust them. But that it was a tough one. Yeah, I think it's gone well for them. Same thing. Big money, second-round pick for a veteran receiver. It's just very rarely works out for the team acquiring. All right. Stay tuned. The Northtown Automotive Extra Point Show with Zach and Derek on the way next. Talk to you on Monday here on WGR.